This is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to Potsy and Tino on the Potsy and Tino Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Tino still got the ding going on his phone.
I know it's watch.
Welcome to another great episode of the Potsy and Tino Show. He's Tino Gray. I'm Rob Potsy Potchak. We're coming at you live tonight from my brand new laptop.
See that?
Yeah, my brand new ThinkPad that I just got that took much longer than it needed to get here. Got caught at customs for 5 days, so I guess they thought I was trying to bring fentanyl in or something. I don't know, but well, it came from China, so I mean, like that's why they would think that. But Tino's going to get up here in a second to go get himself a. Well, I mean, you can go get yourself a glass. You can have some of this. It's pretty much all I got. So
no more Crown.
I don't know. Maybe not. Should have brought your own.
Yeah, people already.
Oh, well, I was saying that I was waiting on you. And it posts for all three when I do that. So it looks like we have a lot of messages, but no. What's up, Michael? Our theme song is always brought to you by Adam's House Cats, called The Wrestling Song. It's available on iTunes for 99 cents. So yeah, as it says, buy my new book on Amazon. Just search my name. You can get a copy of it for $10, or if you've got Kindle Unlimited, you can sit there and read it for free. It's just search my name. With that, Tino, we always start the show. Well, if you want to go to the glass first, I guess I'll start with the. How much of the laptop story did I tell last week? Did I tell any of it?
Yeah, I think you probably finished. You said it was stuck in customs. That's where you left.
So all week it was stuck in customs, and it finally got released from customs on Thursday. And they told me initially that if it got out of customs on Thursday, I could have it by Friday. But of course, it showed up at 1:00 today.
Well, yeah.
There's wild turkey honey up there if you want that.
It was supposed to show up on my birthday.
Yes, it was supposed to show up. In fact, technically, it said it could have shown up as early as the 12th. So now 10 days after the earliest possibility, it finally showed up. And I will say that I am very impressed with the specs so far. What I'm going to be doing with this thing is a lot more of my writing, working on the comics, doing all that stuff. But pretty much trying to make it into the actual work laptop. Like not the work laptop that's actually over there, but actually move upstairs with a setup.
You've been saying that forever.
I have, but I'm actually motivated to buy myself like one of those ultra wide monitors now.
Okay.
So I'll have this, and I'll have an ultra wide up there. So I'll have like 50 inches of computer screen just staring at me. Today I was looking at wireless keyboards and mice, so that way I've got that set up upstairs. So and then I even have this little guy right here, because a long time ago I asked you if you wanted a extra hard drive for your PlayStation.
Oh yeah.
And you never ended up buying it off me. So I bought this little enclosure right here. This thing was $9.
Okay.
And I can plug it into the computer and use it as a 1 terabyte high-speed drive on the computer.
Nice.
Now the computer also has a 1 terabyte drive, so I might never need this. But I used it to move a bunch of the stuff from the old laptop, which is over there somewhere, over to this one already, so that way this thing's ready to go with trivia and everything else for my trivia nights. So yeah, I the other stuff going on with me, got trivia this week on Tuesday and Wednesday at the 2 different ruckuses. And then we've got Deadpool and Wolverine at some point this week.
Yeah, I'm going Thursday. My guitarist texted me last week. He said, "Hey, you want to see Deadpool and Wolverine?" I'm like, yeah, I guess he got him and his 2 boys are going, and I guess whoever he had the extra ticket for couldn't make it. So I'm like, yes, I'll take a free ticket.
Michael's sitting there, me trying to smuggle stuff in with the new laptop. Yeah, of course. Um, yeah, and you know, like I mentioned to Tino as I was looking at movie times for Thursday that tonight AMC at 7 o'clock was actually doing a untitled rated R movie for $5 tickets, and only like half the theater had sold. So I was like, you know, there's a possibility it could be Deadpool and Wolverine and get a preview in. Chances are it's probably more like the new M. Night Shyamalan movie Trapped.
I still want to see that one.
It looks all right. I'll admit.
I like M Night Shyamalan Ding Dong.
See, I don't like most of his movies because it's always the same trope. It's, oh, we'll go through the whole movie and then we give you the whoop, there's the surprise. And you know, like it only works every so often. You know, it worked really well in The Sixth Sense, but then it didn't work very well with Signs. You know, like I thought the surprise of Signs was that.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I like that. So Tino's talking about the wild turkey honey. It actually has real honey in it. So like the Jim Beam honey and the Jack Daniels honey, they all use like honey flavoring.
Mm-hmm.
If you notice, you can actually see honey floating in there. So it's like an actual, but it's really good for sore throats.
Yeah, no.
So
I'll put those in make hot topics.
There you go. Exactly.
Put it right in there.
Exactly. You just need a little lemon juice to go in there, and you're good to go. But you know, I said that, you know, if he wanted to do that, then we could you know, move the show to Thursday.
I always have classes on Mondays, so
And
I don't get done like 7:30, 8:45.
Right, which is
Yeah.
why we don't get started until 8:35 now. But
well, because I came here. Normally we start about 8:15, 8:20.
right. But you know, like there was a big possibility it was not going to be a movie we wanted to see, right? So there was a 50-50 on that. So it made sense to still do the show instead. So that's why we're here tonight. But there's so many movie theaters showing Deadpool and Wolverine on Thursday and Friday that like I don't think anybody who wants to see it's not going to be able to see it. So my plan is I'm going to get off work at 5 o'clock on Thursday. I'm going to be at a theater at 5:30.
Which theater?
I don't care. Like,
Probably you don't have one.
Well, I haven't bought the ticket yet, but I was looking at tickets yesterday and there were still plenty.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like chances are I'll probably do either Briar Creek or I'll do AMC up near Morrisville because those are the two that I go to the
I
most
like
often.
AMC because I have a recliner seats. I'm bougie now. Nicole
Well-
laughs at me. I don't like to go to regular movie theaters.
Well,
You gotta have recliners.
Regal has them too.
Yeah.
The only theater around that does not have them, there's that B&B theater in Morrisville that's like right next to where Ruckus is, and it does not have them.
And then the other place where we went to see the Iron Claw, did they have recliner seats? The one that's across the street.
Yeah, we still had that. AMC did.
Oh,
They're not nice.
no.
But they had them. But they had the movie because not a lot of places were showing Iron Claw.
A friend of mine from work, we want to go see it. I think we're going to go next week see Twister, but we're going to go see it in the 4D. You know, with the yeah. That's what we're going to try. That's the plan. I don't know. I asked Nicole. She's like, I don't know, because she gets motion sickness. So I said, you better strap on. You should drum me and put one of them patches on when we go into this.
I'm going to tell you, I've seen one movie there. I saw The Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and The Batman had rain like the whole movie.
Oh, damn.
And I was like, they better not be shooting me with water the entire movie. And they didn't, thank God. They only did it when it would like start a scene and be like, and you'd be like, I got hit again. But
we went to the last Thor movie, the Love and Thunder. We did that in the 4D. That was cool.
But I did the Batman with my brother. And you know, I don't hang out with my brother very often. So he was like, what do you want to do? I was like, let's go to that 4D theater and we'll go watch the Batman. And he goes, okay, that sounds fun. So we grabbed something to eat beforehand. We went to the movie. I was hungover as shit, right? So like, I'm in the car, like we get there. I buy a thing of popcorn.
No, don't do that.
Don't ever. If you're doing the 4D movie theater, folks, for the love of God, be smart. Don't get a drink unless it's a bottle. You can get a bottle.
We can probably get one with the straw, right? The cup with the lid. No, that didn't work for you.
Dude, I had the lid, you know, but like every time you try to like, okay, movie theater cups for sodas are the dumbest thing ever because you got this straw that's like 14 inches too long. then you're in a recliner, so you're laying back like this, so you're trying to turn it without pouring it out on you. See, I do that. You have to do that, but it's annoying that I go, all right, I'm finally coming. You know, like it's annoying. But the 4D, it's even worse because the entire thing is rattling you back and forth, and the drinks just go. But the popcorn, every fucking where, everywhere.
They ought to give you like a refund or something.
They should have given you a fucking seatbelt. Like the seats don't have seatbelts, and you're getting shut. Like the good news about it is that the Batman was a 3-hour long movie. If it hadn't been rattling me around, I'd have fallen asleep during that shit. You know, because when I'm hungover, I'm tired all day. I'm like, oh, I'm not doing shit. I'm just gonna lay here, and you know, like, and that's why I really like at this point, I really only drink on like Saturdays, so I've got all day Sunday to recover from it. But yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much what's going on with me.
So last weekend I went and did my 2 nights in Hickory. So the first night I DJ'd, and the second night we played. So the first night I DJ'd, I'm like, they said it'll probably hit around 11 or 12 because it was, and I started about 11. So they said probably about 12 it'll start. Dude, when I tell you all of a sudden, it came out of nowhere.
like an RKO.
Right? So I'm like, I'm doing my thing. So, and then a lot of the young kids, I'm like, I'm playing the fuck I want to play. I'm not playing your.
Yeah, I'm not playing your shit.
So I was playing a lot of old school stuff, and they still, I'm like, okay, your parents taught you right. It's
well, to Tino's credit, he will keep to that until a $10 bill gets thrown in the tip jar.
Well, I think about in tips. I mean, no, they were still tipping me for the shit I was. You got this.
Yeah, but that was only, I'm sure it was only a couple bucks. When you get that 10 in there, you're willing to give them
I made $80 in tips that night. They were like, play this. I'm like, all right. And it was old school. So I'm like, shit.
Well, because it's old school. Because they're like, well, he got a great beard.
No, and I'm talking even the younger kids. I was surprised. I thought they were gonna come in and leave. No, they stayed and they danced, and we had a fucking blast. And then a lot of them like, when you come back? I'm like, well, I'll be back tomorrow night playing it. I'm like, it's acoustic. They came back, and I made another fucking $80 in tips.
It's Hickory, man. What the fuck else is there to do?
Oh, there's a lot of other bars I could have gone to that have cheaper drinks.
Well,
now they came there and still paid to drink and had a fucking blast and still tipped me.
Well, just recently the managers over at Ruckus in Cary, and you know that I frequent the one in Morrisville. Well, not frequent anymore now. I go out there twice a week. But the one in Cary tells me that Wednesday night's their busiest night of the week. That's when I'm doing trivia.
That's terrible.
Dude, I get 25 teams playing trivia.
Well, what I'm saying is, don't they do live music?
No, not anymore. No, they're thinking about doing it. They were thinking about doing music again, but they never contacted you. They never contacted me about contacting you. Of course, you didn't tell me how much you actually like until I was gone.
Well, Robert knows how much. That's why he hadn't contacted me.
Probably. But before we really get into wrestling tonight, I do want to talk. So the music both nights, great.
Yeah. Fucking blast. Yeah. Where's my surprise?
Oh, you'll get it at the end. Oh, you'll get it.
He goes, I pulled up.
Well, it's in that box.
He said, I got a present for you.
All right. It's one item in that box.
Made with less material.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. I went cheap for your gift.
I appreciate that.
No, it's a copy of my book, asshole.
Oh,
like I'm giving you a copy so you can review it and actually tell everybody what you think of it next week. I think that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
And then if you like it, you can review it on Amazon.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So before we really get into wrestling, I'm still going to talk about something that has to do with wrestling, but I don't have a banner or anything for it. I want to talk about the Mark Henry biography.
I'm going to check. I got to figure out how to get that because that looked good.
So I may still have it, but you're not going to sit here for 2 hours. It was a 2-hour one.
Shit,
So let me go ahead and start with the different biographies. Some of them are fantastic. Like the Miz's was a lot better than you would think it was.
Okay.
Like because they really went into how he really thought he was going to get stuck as the reality guy, and even when he did Miz and Mrs., like Maurice had to talk him into it because he did not want to do it because he was like, I've already done reality TV. In fact, I almost didn't make it to the WWE because of reality TV. So, but they talk about how, like, and when Al Snow was on Tough Enough, sitting there going, you just seem like a reality TV junkie, like that really offended the Miz, and it really affected him. And of course, he didn't even win. He came in second place. So he was like, at that moment, he even talks about it. He goes, I felt like I finally was given the opportunity to make it to the WWE, and I screwed that up too. And he didn't even screw it up. It's just the fans went with the person they thought would be a better professional wrestler in the long run. And Daniel Puder lasted like 6 weeks. But but I digress. Maven lasted longer, and Maven's actually better now with his YouTube show. Yeah. His and Stevie Richards are great. But anyway, the Mark Henry one was last night, and a couple things really stood out to me. Mark's upbringing, like, I didn't realize he was dyslexic. And I've met Mark Henry multiple times. And you know me, I created the dyslexia-friendly comic book. So, like, if I'd have known that, I'd have given him copies of my comic books. And now, if he's going to be at GalaxyCon, I probably will still give him copies of the comic books. But I don't think he's listed, so I don't know. I don't know the next time I'll see Mark Henry. Maybe WrestleCade. I don't know. But I was a little shocked to hear that, but to also hear that, like, and they used a word that doesn't get used very often anymore, because he said, when people call me big, when they called me fat, when they made fun of me being black, like those things were, they'd get under my skin if they kept it up. But there was one thing that they would say when they found out I had dyslexia, that I would lose my stuff. And it was being called a retard. And Mark Henry at 10 years old was 225 pounds. Yeah. Yeah, I'm 240 right now. Okay.
Big boy.
and so think about it. He was probably my size at 10 years old. But like his entire upbringing and everything, when he started weightlifting and whatever, the people that he worked with were just super supportive of him and everything. And it was his training coach that actually went to Vince McMahon, because he'd met Vince McMahon like 10 years before that. And he was like, if I ever have anybody, I'll let you know. And even the people they had being interviewed on it were people like Jeremy Schaap from ESPN, the one that always does like all the like really in-depth, like, we're gonna get to the bottom of everything. Bob Costas was on there. And then of course they had people like Paul White, the Big Show, so, and of course I didn't realize. Now I did know that Bianca Belair was brought to the WWE by Mark Henry. I did not know that Braun Strowman was. So, and the Braun Strowman one makes even more sense than Bianca Belair, because when you think about it, he was in strongman competitions and everything.
Even Braun Strowman was like, when he first met Mark Henry, and Mark Henry tried to get him, he's like, no, I'm sticking to the bodybuilding thing. And then all of a sudden he's like, something, he goes, hey, can I still be a wrestler? Mark's like, yeah.
Well, he wasn't a bodybuilder, because obviously the bodybuilder type would be like, Batista. And we'll talk about Batista losing like 60 pounds of Batista a little bit later, because he looks like Patrick Stewart with a beard now. But but the Mark Henry thing, the other thing that really stood out to me, obviously, they went through the first time in the WWE. He actually talked about how he would get in fights backstage because people would make fun, like just jabbing him or whatever, and he didn't like that. So of course Bret Hart's like, hey, you need to go up to Calgary, not just so that you can learn wrestling, but so you can learn the business side of it, so that you understand when people are just ribbing you and when people are like legit mad at you.
Right.
And you saw it on the Undertaker podcast, where they didn't bring this up on this, but on the Undertaker podcast, where Mark basically, he got kicked out because he said he was going to kill Shawn Michaels, and Shawn has since come up to him. He was talking about this on Busted Open today, actually. Shawn's since come up to him and been like, I was in a really bad place at that point in my life, and I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry, big man. Would you stop calling me big? But but then the other thing that I thought, obviously they went into the Hall of Pain stuff, and then they even went into the retirement. Mark Henry didn't even tell his wife what he intended to do that night. So she's sitting there, she's like, I'm sitting there, I'm crying, Jacob's crying, like hell, the other wrestlers in the backstage area, like Seth Rollins is like, I'm crying like a baby, and Cody Rhodes is sitting there, he's like, I wasn't even working for them at the time, and I was crying watching this, and then he does the thing, and he goes, I still got more left, but he's sitting there in the chair, how they always put them in this really big room, and there's one chair in the room for whatever reason. He's sitting in the chair, and he goes, I really went into that meeting with Vince McMahon trying to tell him that I was done and I was retiring because I wanted to be home with my family, and I wanted to watch them grow up and do everything, because I'd made all the money I needed to. I didn't need to be here anymore, and I walked out with a 3-year contract. But he didn't do that and smile. He was like, I walked out with a 3-year contract.
Yep.
And then
he got Vince.
yeah, I'll owe you one, pal. Yeah. And then they did something that they really hadn't done in any of these. They brought up AEW. They mentioned them by name, Tino, which, by the way, they haven't done in a long time. They say another company showed up, another brand, like the Cody Rhodes WWE thing that they did last WrestleMania. Like, they mentioned that he left to go somewhere else and start a company.
I wonder if now because that was still on the Vince when they did that one, right? So this is under Triple H. You think Triple H is not trying to plug AEW, but he's always like they're working with TNA, which I don't know if they'll do that kind of thing. So why acknowledge AEW all of a sudden?
So the only thing I can think of there, and tell me if it sounds right, is that because it's A&E making it, and they ask the talent what they want to discuss, that it gets past WWE, because it's not about WWE, it's about their career, because they talk about stuff before their career with WWE, they talk about their WWE career, and then they kind of even go into, well, this is what I'm doing now. And here's what I thought was really weird about that, though, because they mentioned AEW, then they even show him wearing a black AEW shirt that's got the gold and white logo on it. So I mean, like, they're even showing the logo, right? But this is like 3 weeks after Mark Henry's no longer working for AEW. So I wonder if they they obviously made the episode before that, but I wonder if they held the episode until after his contract expired to then release the episode. Because maybe he's under a Legends contract again now. I don't know. But the timing of it,
that's weird. Oh, we'll have to wait and see.
Well, the other question that it made me start thinking is, why isn't Paul White in the WWE Hall of Fame?
Isn't he still with AEW?
Is he? I think he's made 3 appearances for them in 4 years. But you're right, he might be. And that would make sense as to why he's not, because, they're obviously not going to put someone who's currently contracted to another wrestling company in a prominent position WrestleMania weekend for their program, and Tony's not going to let them. Like, if it was any other wrestling company in the world now.
Was Billy Gunn in AEW when they did that? Tony let him do it.
That was right as they were starting. And I don't, they had created AEW. WWE had let Billy Gunn go. But then, I'm thinking that Hunter was like, if we're doing DX, we got to do DX. Like, it's got to be all of us. Because obviously can't have China, she passed away. But so I don't know. I found it weird, but I found it nice in a way, because it's almost like WWE just kind of like, because if they didn't want it to say AEW, it would have been blurted out.
Yeah.
You know, like it would have had like new wrestler Mark Henry now signs with blah blah blah. You know, like a little thing over it. Hell, half the time they have to do that with the WWF logo. The only time they don't is when they actually sign an agreement with World Wildlife Fund to not do that.
I don't know, because I was going to say that. I was going back, because, I'll go back and watch old shit. And I was on the In Your House kick. And it was WWF title, WWF.
So when they did the WWE network, they signed an agreement to allow the videos to have it, because otherwise they have to blur out every turnbuckle.
Yeah.
And they did that for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the WWE network first started, and then then they made it a bigger thing to scrub out all the licensed music instead, which is garbage.
Stupid.
Fucking
I
garbage.
was watching something, and I think it was one of the Raws. Like I was watching Chris Jericho came out, but he came out to his WCW music. That's so fucking stupid.
Michael Turner asked a question that we can go ahead and answer. What do you think about the Borderlands movie coming out also? I feel like whoever made the trailers for it made really fun-looking movie trailers, except used completely the wrong music. Because it actually one played like right before you walked in the door. But the reason why I say that, Michael, is because I really feel like if they were smart with the Borderlands movie, they would have used the same music from the video game, like that dubstep stuff that they used and whatever. Like that to me signifies Borderlands. The movie looks okay. Like it unfortunately, it looks like somebody is taking a relatively unknown property outside of video games and trying to make Guardians of the Galaxy out of it.
Okay, I gotta check it out.
So we can watch the trailer after we're done. It'll only take 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay.
So that's what I think about that, Michael. Always did like The Miz. You're one of the few because I can honestly say when The Miz first started, I was like, who's this prick? And and that's pretty much what everybody wanted you to say.
When he started out, like I guess as the host on SmackDown, I didn't quite get it. When he turned into The Miz, like in the ECW with the hat, and when he got with John Morrison, I started getting into him a little more. But before that, like you said, when he was the host, I'm like, this is stupid.
So that's actually one of the things they talk about in his biography, was the fact that like he didn't want to be the host. Because again, that like I came to WWE to wrestle, and Vince McMahon calls me up and he goes, Miz, we got a great idea for you, pal. You're gonna be the host of SmackDown. And he's like, so he gave 110% on it. But when the Diva search came up, they even showed like how he bombed when he was supposed to read off what the phone number was to vote for the girl that you wanted, and he like completely forgot everything he was supposed to say, and he had it written on his wrist, but he was sweating so bad. He said, I was sweating so bad it wiped off. And so I'm sitting there trying to and I was like, if and then he goes, and for those that don't know, the last person you see before you walk out on stage is Vince McMahon. The very first person you see upon walking to the back is Vince McMahon. And if he had fired me right there, he would have been 100% justified. I would have had no excuse. I would have had no reason to stay working here. But for whatever reason, he gave me another chance. And then for whatever reason, they talked to Brian Gewirtz, and Brian Gewirtz is like, one of the things you got to love about Vince McMahon is if he trusts you like forever. So like you can make mistakes and he'll let you correct them. And it's like, wow, okay. Apparently not with his ex-girlfriend, but or whatever she was to him. Anyways, yeah. So that's where all that stuff was. Let's start talking about some wrestling.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about the hour-long Dynamite match, or do you want to talk about like? All right. I actually was just watching it again because the first time I watched it was that 3-minute TikTok video that I sent you. That I was like 60 minutes in 3 minutes. I can do that.
You had to watch the match to appreciate it. I mean, they had like the highlights, but that whole match, fucking, I loved it.
Can I ask you something though? I specific and I almost paused it to leave it at a specific spot for if you were coming. I was going to show you the exact spot. But there's a moment where Ospreay goes to run into the ropes and do the the flip over, and MJF is following him into the ropes, and he just kicks him. Why in the world would Ospreay ever try to do a flip in that moment, knowing that the other guy is right there?
I don't think he did.
I mean, he was right there with him. It's not like he was a step behind him. He was right there with him.
Maybe that was part of the plan. You know what I'm saying? That was, I don't know. I know the spot you're talking about.
So if you were grading the match, is it an A plus?
I don't say A plus. I'd probably get an A, maybe a B plus to an A.
I felt like it went long. Like,
I think it needed to.
I know it was a special episode of Dynamite, but if it had gone 40 minutes, we still would have sat there and said, "Wow, that was a fuck ton of action in 40 minutes."
Mm-hmm.
But like the reason why I say that I think it went long is because I feel like they started doing the same moves over and over again, and it wasn't a finisher spot fest like WWE WrestleMania matches can be, right? It wasn't that. But it was like he did that handspring into something like 6 times in the match. Now, at some point, and what's funny is
that's probably why he got kicked when he was trying to.
Well, I was going to say it's funny because earlier in the match, MJF knew it was coming, so he would do a flip or he would duck under. But then later in the match, when he definitely knew it was coming, he sat there and would get hit by it. One of the best camera angles and best moves that I did see was when Ospreay went for the hidden blade, and he was just laying in the corner, and MJF, and they're just focused on MJF's head, and just as he comes to hit him, MJF just ducks out of, and I was like, did the cameraman tell him to duck? Did he see Ospreay in the camera? Because like with the lighting and everything, the timing was beyond perfect. Right. For that, there were other spots where like Ospreay setting him up on the table and then can't get his footing on the so when I hear that Dave Meltzer gave the match 5.75 stars.
What do you call it? The
Ospreay kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the Kenny kicker and there's the Ospreay kicker. And if you get both of them in the same match together, 8 stars. Because like then there's multipliers with the kickers and like but just a couple of weeks ago there was literally a women's match in WWE. It was Sol Ruca versus Kalani Jordan, and the match to me was equally as impressive. And it didn't take all that time. They still sold the shit out of everything. It really came across the same kind of way where if you're sitting there saying that those two are acrobats and they're doing gymnastics in the ring, the fuck do you think Ospreay's doing? Mm-hmm. So I saw the look on your face when I mentioned Meltzer, but you knew it was going to come up, and not even not because he's so known in the industry. What he thinks a match is going to be is going to come up because sometimes it just doesn't make sense. Like if he said that it was a 5-star match, okay, I'm willing to go to the max score that you're supposed to be able to give for something. Mm-hmm. Like you're now literally taking. Remember when like the health department would give you 2 extra points if you had serve safe?
Yes,
that's what he's doing, and that's not how you score stuff. How come the WWE for 30 fucking years didn't have a 5-star match when you had Shawn Michaels facing Razor Ramon in a ladder match? How is it that when AJ Styles and Finn Balor faced each other in October that one year,
Mr. Perfect and Bret Hart facing each other?
Hell, the best match Roddy Piper ever had, Roddy Piper versus Bret Hart for the Intercontinental Championship.
I give you British Bulldog.
There you go, at Wembley Stadium. You should have gotten a Wembley kicker on that one. You know, like, and you know, like, I think he said that he did give like Hogan Andre like 4 stars, but back then the highest he would give anybody is 4 stars, right? So that probably wasn't even actually no the Savage versus Dragon was a 4-star match, but the Hogan match is like a 3.75 star because just the atmosphere around 90,000 people sitting there watching it. But I mean, CM Punk versus John Cena at Money in the Bank, you get 2 bonus points just for the story there. The very first Money in the Bank ladder match, TLC won, the one that wasn't even called TLC. It was just a tag team ladder match that all of a sudden became tables, ladders, and chairs because they brought it all out. How did those matches not get 5 or 6 stars? You're right. The hell, Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania.
Kurt and Brock.
Yes. the hour long in Raleigh at SmackDown.
Yep. What's my other one?
Hell, John Cena versus Shawn Michaels, the hour long match from Raw.
What was the one with that? It was like you were like, let's go. It was Cedric Alexander. Who was he? Remember that one?
Buddy Murphy.
Yeah.
In Charlotte, yeah.
No, that was here.
No, it was in Charlotte. We drove all the way to Charlotte because Cedric was from Charlotte. So that's why he got the very final match of the night. But like, I'm tired of the scoring system from that. If you said it was an A+, I'll give you that.
Like I said, it's B plus A.
If you say, well, B+ would be A-, right? So I think it was an A.
Mm-hmm.
I'll definitely say that. And like I said, I will say A+. But that means if you have a 10-point scale, you can't go over that because it's those 2 guys.
Yeah.
Like, bullshit.
Yeah.
I would hate to see what he gave all those Flair hour long Broadways. You know, because like they're sitting there going, oh my God, the fact that Ospreay and Max were able to, there was resting.
There's rest hold.
In the old Flair matches, though, the rest holds were the figure 4. You know, like those guys, like they would literally stand up, walk around, and they were shit faced. You know, like maybe not drunk, but they were definitely hungover.
Yeah. Because
they went on Broadway the night before, stayed up till 5 a.m, and then did a Broadway the next night. Anyways, and it was the same system not scoring system, but the same methodology that they use when they do AEW Broadway matches or hour longs, where it's, I mean, you still get your comeback, you still get your heater, you still get all that in there. There always seems to be they go out into the crowd and they have fun with the crowd for about 5-10 minutes. Referee's not counting for like that should have been a double count out.
I don't understand how they get down to like 58. I'm like, there's 2 seconds left on the clock. Like, how the fuck do you time that?
Well, the referee's got the earpiece in and he's sitting there, and normally in those types of matches, like Justin Roberts will give there's 5 minutes remaining. And I think they did, but I think they were in picture when they did it. Mm-hmm. So there was no.
I'm saying it's like 10 seconds. Well, that's 5 seconds, and he managed to get the 3 count.
In almost every time I've ever seen that be the case, you look at they're looking at the screen, and the screen has a giant countdown clock going like the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
So they know, but it's like you guys got 2 minutes, and they're probably sitting there going, okay, in 1 minute I need to be here, in 30 seconds I need to be there, and then that last 10 seconds we need to really get this down. Or it goes a little long and nobody's paying attention to the clock.
No, they were. You saw that.
Well, I know. But like a lot of times you might not see it.
And I told you Max was going to win that fucking title.
And what did I say? I said that gives Will Ospreay the biggest match that he's going to have at All In, because he's not going after the world title.
And I also said when comes back,
Well, there's a lot of people that think that Ospreay's going to win the title back from Max at the pay-per-view. Or wouldn't it be interesting if Daniel Garcia shows up and costs Ospreay the match just so that he gets to take the belt off of?
A lot that can happen between now and then.
Yeah. Or he comes out and he just sits there and goes, I want that belt, like after the match is over. Maybe he costs Max the match. Except when you're at Wembley Stadium in England and you have an English guy wrestling the match, I do not want to see a guy from Jersey who goes like this, sitting there costing the other guy the match and giving it to him. Like it's okay that Max cheated to win this. It's not okay.
I don't think it's gonna. I still think Ospreay's going to be in that match at Wembley for the title.
I don't now. I think you're getting the rematch. And like how they end up setting it up with what's his face, Daniel Garcia, I don't know. But
the other part I want to talk about, down a lot of stuff happened, but when Mercedes Moné was in the ring talking shit, did her match, and she came out that ring, went ringside, I knew it. I knew she was gonna get her ass jumped. And when she went and took that sign, and from the person wearing the mask, I'm like, it's Britt Baker. Sometimes it almost insults your intelligence. I mean, you fucking know, and you also so, oh my God, it's Britt Baker, but you knew it was her. You don't agree?
No, I totally agree. It's just why I agree is probably insulting to all of us.
What's that?
It's pro wrestling. We already expect the lowest common denominator.
True.
We love it.
True.
And we want to be the one that calls that moment, But like people already insult our intelligence because we watch pro wrestling. Which I find hilarious because most people sit there and tell me like I'm one of the smartest people they know. So to hear that and then me go, and I like pro wrestling, and they're like, the fuck is wrong with you?
And they'll try to do it again the same night.
See, this is bad booking.
You play Toni Storm's music. She comes out. She looks like Toni Storm. You're like, huh? It takes them a minute when she's skipping on the ramp. I'm like, I know that's Mariah May. What's wrong with these fuckers?
This is literally a week after the Miz's biography, where the Miz told the story about how Vince was like, you're going to come out as The Rock, and the crowd's going to eat it up, and they're going to love you for it, and then they're going to hate you. And a week later,
I don't know that,
but I mean, there were a lot of people that watched that biography.
All I know, she came down in the ring and she did her promo, and at the end, I don't know what the fuck she's doing. She's laying on the mat doing all the shit like Toni Storm was. I'm like, bitch, you need a cigarette? She's telling us she's getting. I'm like, you're enjoying that a little too much.
Well, there's also some heat a little bit on Tony Schiavone, because as she got ready to start talking,
he called her a bitch.
He's like, just speak, bitch. And all of a sudden you just hear Taz go, Tony, unprofessional.
I did pop when he said it. Just speak, bitch. I was like, whoa. I sat up on my couch. What the fuck did he just say?
Like, it literally sounds like Tony Schiavone's becoming Jim Ross. Like you might not have heard it, but at the pay-per-view, Jim Ross is sitting there and goes, would somebody get this guy in the front row a damn beer? I'm tired of hearing him. and then you just hear you hear Excalibur, and he's like, you got to give it up for the best ever, Jim Ross. but they're just ornery old men, and it doesn't make a lot of sense to me because obviously the Tony Schiavone Britt Baker thing has nothing to do with this. So it's not like he has a dog in the fight here. Like, just be a fucking professional. So Taz sitting there going, Tony. unprofessional.
I don't know if he's trying to be in character, trying to be, or that's the way he really felt.
I think it was the second, and he tried to pass it off as the first because he started with the whole, well, if you just saw what she did last week, you'd know. And it's like, well, I agree with you, Tony, but you're not the one that should be calling her bitch. Like that's Ty Conti's job.
Well, somebody has to now. Well, now Britt Baker and Mercedes Moné calling each other bitch. They're missing Ty Conti. That's what it is.
But it shows how bad the writing can be from time to time. Like and there is no writing, which is why it's so bad sometimes. It's because like you literally go, oh, I'm just gonna sit there and I'm gonna hit you with the bitch, and it's like, okay, we heard two women go say that. Like, speaking of Mercedes Moné, the match against Nyla Rose felt like a big fart in church. It just didn't go well.
You knew Nyla wasn't going to win.
Well, yeah, obviously. Although I would have been okay if Nyla Rose had won that title off of Mercedes Moné because the match between her and Britt Baker does not need a title. So if Britt had cost her the title, I think it actually means more that they fight. Especially since they really aren't getting their hands on each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that whole buildup and everything, like, it's kind of falling flat to me.
Well, we'll see. Yeah,
You know what's not falling flat to me though is Okada having the hots for her.
You know, say the line.
But
CEO, so hot.
so Rainmaker wants you to do the dance, and she's like, "Oh, my CEO dance," and he's like, "Yeah," and like when he does, he just, and they're like, "Okay, you can cut now."
Let me cigarette and change your underwear.
He needs something. It's like the first time he's ever seen a woman, but like that reminds me of her theme music because obviously she started going CEO. And if you notice when she was doing that, they were hoping the crowd was going to start chanting it, and they weren't. And now when she comes out and her music's doing that, they're just not interested. Which is, I know that the reason why they did that with her music was the same reason why Osprey's music does the Osprey. Except Osprey has all that charisma. And he's over already with that crowd. So when he comes out and he does his little like that, and the crowd goes Osprey, Osprey, like you feel that, and like we felt it in Greensboro.
I'm wondering if she's doing that, the CEO, because they don't do that, but let Britt Baker come out DMD, and
there's a big difference. Britt Baker's an original, and she worked her ass off to get to where she has that, like she's probably when it comes to money, Britt Baker's probably here compared to Mercedes money, right? So like that's really got to sting. That's gotta piss her off because it's not time for the contract. It's not time, but she got herself, and in fact, I'd actually say that like what they want is them here,
mm-hmm.
and it's more like here. Mercedes Moné is not over with that crowd. And it's really because, one, she's only wrestled 5 matches since March. Now, Britt obviously hasn't wrestled a match in over a year, but she was massively injured. But 5 matches since March and has 2 titles on her. Tell me that is not, we're going to Roman Reigns this shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They've got to justify what they're paying her, I guess.
Well, the one spot where I'm going to say it's not like Roman Reigns is because we don't know if she's supposed to be face or heel, but I would assume with her interacting with the Young Bucks that yes, she's a heel now.
And she's got to be because Britt's such a baby.
Well, except all Britt would have to do is take out another baby face. Except the unfortunate thing is when it comes to the women's division, they really don't have any. They have Sheeta,
who's probably going to fight this Wednesday.
they don't even have sky blue right
They
now.
hurt her because she
She
hurt.
broke her ankle. Yeah.
Is that what happened? I didn't know.
Well, they're saying they think it's broken because I mean it was like this big,
I didn't say.
and the girl's stomach isn't this big.
I mean, I thought it was a knee because she's holding her knee, but it's her ankle.
Yeah, they're saying it's either a deep sprain or a broken ankle. Julia Hart's gone.
Well,
Yeah, where the fuck she go? Like she was hotter than anybody, and gone. Willow Nightingale is probably the only babyface that they really haven't destroyed yet. And I do think that Tony Storm's becoming the babyface like naturally because this Mariah May story, which still right now is the best story they have going on AEW. Like there's not a doubt in my mind. And isn't Mariah May British?
Yes, she's going to win the title.
Yeah, but wouldn't you think that right now that match should go on last because it's the best story and it's a British person in Wembley Stadium? It won't. But WWE would consider it.
They might put Swerve on. They might put Swerve on.
Oh no, Swerve will be pay-per-view world champion goes on last. That's always been Tony's moniker. Unless it's like a specialty match like the Lights Out match or the Sting's final match.
Tony Storm's a champion.
That's what I'm saying. Like this is the one time where I'd be like, okay, you're not giving Ospreay his moment at Wembley. So give Mariah May that moment. Like imagine if in front of the biggest crowd that you have okay, second biggest crowd you've ever put together, because obviously it's not going to rival last year's. Second biggest crowd you've ever put together, and you put women in the main event. Like you want to shut the WWE up on something? Yes, I know that we've had a three-way dance at WrestleMania with women as the main event when it was Ronda versus Charlotte versus Becky. I know that we have.
Then you had wasn't it Bianca and and Mercedes Moné when she was Sasha, weren't they a main event?
You know what? I think you're right. I think they were the Saturday night main event.
Because they were like the first ever women, not only women but black women.
I think that was COVID. I think that was the Tampa Bay one where they had only 25,000 people in the stands. So they could still literally what I'm saying though is that AEW could have the largest crowd with a women's main event if they wanted to do it. And I don't know if Tony Khan watches our show. I do think that, Triple H has cronies like Jamie Noble's probably watching us right now because, like, what's he doing? But, Jamie, we love you. If you're watching. But imagine that in front of 55 or 60,000 people, you have a women's main event match that delivers.
It would deliver.
And I see no reason why this match will not deliver. Now, is it going to deliver on the level that a Bryan Danielson versus Swerve Strickland does? I don't know. But I will say right now, we already don't think the Swerve's getting booked correctly. So if he's booked to lose and he's booked to lose in the second to last match of the night, I get it because we already expect Mariah May to win. So it actually makes me think that Swerve holds the title, which to me, a title change still deserves to be in that top spot over a non-title change. If I were booking it, I would put the ladies on last because it's the best build, and that's what's supposed to go on last.
Yep.
And it's still for a world title.
Yeah.
So that's why I would do that. Swerve Strickland versus Okada, final match tonight. You're gonna have to tell me what happened because I didn't make it. I'm assuming Swerve won.
He did win. I'm trying to remember what happened though. I can't remember if they ran out and helped him. Swerve won. I can't remember.
I'm assuming it was a 4-star match.
Swerve won, and then
on that 6
and then the Young Bucks came out and they went to go jump them. And then obviously all the blood and guts people. That's when Darby Allin came out because they didn't know who was going to be the last.
He came down from the rafters or something, didn't he? Yeah.
They didn't know who was going to be the last person for AEW on.
Now is it actually going to be Darby, or is it going to be Darby's pink jacket? He literally went from being the skate guy that's always wearing black and white and nothing else to suddenly he's wearing a pink fluffy jacket.
But he came down a la Sting and cleared house.
Yeah, and apparently they got the okay from Martha Hart to do that. So yeah. Owen Hart's widow.
They get her okay.
Because Owen Hart died from coming down from the rafters. So now
I know that, but what the hell does that have to do with Martha Hart?
They literally ask her every time they want to do that. Because they want to keep her happy. I mean, that's what it is. They have the Owen Hart thing, right? So they don't want to end that relationship. So they ask her every time that they want to do something like that. I think it's respectable.
If I owned $1 million or however $1 million company,
$1 billion company.
Yeah. Is she putting in on it? I mean, I see what you're saying. But if I want to do something on my TV show that I'm paying for.
All right. I don't know the woman, but I'm going to say that, you know, she kind of has that one thing where, like, people coming down from the rafters, if it's not done.
I understand that, but do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I don't want to be rude, but
well, that's why when she was there the week before, you go, hey, Martha, we're thinking about having Darby conduct. What do you think? Oh, you're okay with that? Cool. It's Tony Garrett's calling me. Tony. You've met Tony. He's probably been on the show once or twice.
But I don't. Yeah. And then what else happened? I didn't finish getting to watch all of Collision because I was in Hickory, and I started watching it earlier. I hadn't finished watching it, so I don't know. I know the main event was for the vacant. It was the Guns against
the Patriarchy.
Yeah. So the Patriarchy, they win.
Yes.
Patriarchy. So
well, hold on. So it's good stuff. This is
tell you drop bullets in it. You didn't do that when you damn poured.
I do it all the time.
You didn't do it when you poured yours a minute ago.
Do you want to do it?
Put bullets in it.
You're not gonna.
Okay.
You don't blow out. You blow in.
I didn't. It's stepped up. That's what that sound was. But anyway, so yeah, what happened?
Well, hold on. Tony's coming in. It's getting ready to walk in the door.
It's locked.
Well, I just gave him the code.
Oh, you also, what? Okay.
He'll have to pull up a chair like behind us or whatever.
The show. Damn.
Well, yeah, I know. He actually works at the liquor store, so.
Go for it.
I didn't see it.
Oh.
But I heard that what happened was when they won, Christian grabbed all 3 belts and held all 3 belts of himself. So the poster, like the picture, you know, the thing that they showed afterwards, you know, on social media said Christian and the Patriarchy trios champions.
I gotta watch this now.
It's probably worth watching just for that reason. But yeah, I didn't watch it. But here's what I think's weird is Tony Khan has said that that Adam Copeland is on his best run ever since he joined AEW, which is completely not true. 8-time world champion, 2-time Royal Rumble winner, 2-time Money in the Bank, 2-time Money in the Bank winner. I don't know if he's a Grand Slam champion.
He's Intercontinental.
Yeah.
He's Tag Team World.
He might not have won the U.S. He might not have won the U.S.
That's weird.
Well, you got to think that at the beginning of his career through 2002, they didn't even have the U.S. title. So only 2002 to 2009, he would have had the opportunity, and he was on Raw most of that time. So
yeah, that's true.
Depending on which, you know, where, what, anyways. But interestingly enough, I would say that Christian Cage has been on the best run of his entire career since joining AEW.
Fucking short sleeves, muscle turtleneck.
I fucking love it, dude. When we went to the pay-per-view at the AMC Theater that one night, and we're sitting there, and I'm like, I bet he comes out in the turtleneck to wrestle, and you're like, he better not. And then he does, and I was like, oh, And Tino's like, I'm gonna get up and leave. Because I was going like this, and he's like, and you know, he said that was like a that day decision. So somehow he got himself a sleeveless turtleneck to wrestle in that night.
Probably took a turn and cut the sleeves off.
Yeah, probably. So we're gonna have us here a special guest here in just a moment, folks. Tony, before you do that, if you want a adult beverage, you know where the glasses are, right? Top left. Well, second one on the left. Yeah, right up above you, right there.
What's that?
No, lefter, left more.
Lefter.
Lefter than that.
Lefter. It's drunk. Lefter.
I am not drunk.
Lefter. What you come up with Lefter, bitch?
I just said it.
Lefter.
Hannibal Lecter.
Um,
So the patriarchy won the trios championships. Tony, it's probably going to be easiest if you want to be on the show to grab that chair and put it behind us. As long as it'll slide through.
probably.
Yeah, just gotta push the other chair.
Or
just show them muscles.
don't hit me in the fucking head.
So, all right, folks, you may or may not know Tony Garrett. If you don't, Tony, we are talking pro wrestling. So,
Let me sit in the back.
you're gonna be right.
For this.
Wow.
What do you say?
He said, "I know Rosa Parks fought for this."
I was about to say, get back to the bus. That's that bus.
Hey, he's the one saying it to you.
Oh, yeah.
So, like,
Good to see. Good to see.
so do you know him now?
Here's a wrestling thing.
Yeah.
What
I don't know.
talking about?
Well, right now we're talking about AEW. We're talking about Collision, and I didn't watch any of Rampage. Is Rampage even still a show?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes. We do a show. He doesn't watch the fucking podcast.
Terrible.
Hold on. I've watched more wrestling in the past 2 weeks than I had watched in like 6 months because after the NXT and NXT PLE, I actually watched NXT. I didn't watch it this week because I just wasn't interested in it this week. But I watched all 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of SmackDown, 2 hours of Dynamite, and I knew that Christian Cage had won the.
All right, speaking of, let's hit Raw.
Yeah.
Because Mommy's back.
But Mommy's not just back, but
Jay, that was my favorite part. Did you watch Raw Monday?
I did.
And Jay
I did.
said, hey, is Mommy single?
well, he's asking Kathy Kelly.
That shit was
He's not even
hilarious.
like Dominic
Dominic.
standing there, and he's just like cucking him. He's like,
Give him my number.
hey, you know, Mommy's back, right? Well, I'll take her to like that. Well, and then in the other video that you sent me that I'd already seen.
Oh God, I'm so fucking funny.
I
So,
like,
see
I
what-
like that Priest is like really like getting into it too.
Dude.
Like, when he's like, maybe, you know what I mean? Like she may be single. Like who knows? I don't know what's going on with her.
No,
Dude,
I
they're turning
TikTok.
Damian Priest babyface by not even having him do shit.
I sent him a TikTok. So that Catherine Kelly's backstage and she's
With
talking to
Jay
Rhea
Uso.
Ripley.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, so do you have Jay's number? She said, yeet. And she walked away.
She went like this. She went,
yeet.
oh, but then there's the other video where it's Jey Uso going, you could tell Mommy that like we could go do the Waffle House thing because
You said,
Because-
would you send me that picture?
I miss
he's like you could tell it like it's cheap and all, but you know what, it's good, so it's yeet yeet. He's gonna pull up the picture
I just seen-
where Jey Uso.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
Wasn't that Mommy that actually posted
Rhea
that?
Ripley
Yeah,
posted
Rhea
that.
Ripley posted that one.
Yeah, Buddy Murphy.
She did. Buddy Matthews.
Buddy Murphy,
Yeah, until he comes back.
Yeah.
But so obviously we got more of the. You're going the wrong direction.
I was actually.
Oh.
For the
Oh.
adult
Oh yeah.
So,
So the show basically starts with more of the Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley stuff because Mommy comes back and Mommy comes out and she goes, Mommy's home, and then of course Dominic's following her up And I don't know who said they were going to do it, but they absolutely did the Eddie Guerrero and China
The
moment.
Black Rose.
Mhm.
He did
Well, but he did a Black Rose.
yeah.
But if you notice when she pulled off the leaves, it was a red rose underneath it. So like they just somehow painted it black or whatever. But of course, Dom, every chance he got, he just dug it deeper and dug it deeper and dug it. Like when he sat there, he goes, "But you're my mommy, and you're mine." And she goes, "I'm what?"
Yeah.
And he's like, I didn't. And then he's like, well, I got a match with Jey Uso tonight because he was talking bad about you. And she goes, now why would you go ahead? And he's like, well, I could cancel it. And she goes, what? Now you're just being a spaz and you don't want to do the match. And he's like, and then by the end of the night, you almost think that like they're almost cool again, except you have more of that like Liv Morgan energy coming, like because she was like, I'm not there, but then she was there. Kind of like Britt Baker, except 2 days before that. So I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Because when Dom finally turns on Rhea at SummerSlam, we know it, like we expect it. So if it doesn't happen, it'll be a little bit of a shock.
I don't think just Dom. I think they all turn on except for Priest.
Well, and that's kind of what I think too. Except I think the Dom thing is going to be the first thing, and then the next night they're going to turn on Priest. Because you can't. Because again, it's bad booking if you do everything the same night, right? Oh, the JD McDonough with his big fucking bobblehead and Finn turn on Priest. Oh, now Rhea's getting turned on by Dom. Really, you do all that in one night? Like I would space it out a little bit. Like you already see the tension between Finn and Damian.
Right.
I still think they're going to cost him that match against Gunther.
I think he's going to lose the match to Gunther, and when that happens, the next night they're going to be like, "Well, you're not out here with the championship tonight," and then they're going to be like, "But we're going to have us a 6-man tag match between us and Imperium or whatever," and then they're just going to like hop off the thing and walk out on Damian and leave Damian by himself, getting beat up by all 3 members of Imperium.
Wouldn't it make more sense for them to cost him the championship
That's
though?
what I was thinking
Just
too.
because his whole thing is like
I don't need
staying
you.
out of my business, and so them like jumping in to like save them and inadvertently costing him the belt, just it makes more sense to me.
That, and he did say to that, he's like, I don't need them, they need me.
Right.
I well see, and
So
that would still work in a 6-man match the Monday night.
So it could be the best of be both of them, right? So like they best round and like cost him the title, and then the next night or whatever he comes out and instead of them owning up to shit, well, bro, you said you ain't need us or whatever, so you still could have won
I like that
regardless. Too. You know what I mean? You ain't got the belt no more, so why should we even listen to you?
I like that too.
Eat.
Yeet.
My only worry is that we already expect shenanigans in the bloodline match, right? So the Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa match, we either expect Roman Reigns to show up or we expect like just a complete beatdown of Cody Rhodes by the entirety of the bloodline.
I don't think that Roman's gonna show up yet. I think it's gonna be Brock before Roman.
I do not.
I think it's too soon for Roman to come back. To be completely honest with you,
dude, it's been by then it'll be 5 months.
That's fine.
That's half a year almost.
They'll be okay.
Well, yes, they'll be okay.
They'll be okay. I think like the biggest pop needs. I think that should either Survivor Series or it should be Royal Rumble. One of the two.
So
I think SummerSlam is too soon.
So I think coming back at the end of SummerSlam to sit there and stare down Solo or beat down Solo is one thing. I think him coming back, and being back regularly. He's never back regularly, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's back every other week at best. Now is when you have to start setting up for Summer or Survivor Series. Now you have to start, because he really only works half the year now.
And if they do Survivor Series, they can have another Civil War.
Yeah.
So you can get all the bloodline, and Roman can get his team.
That
together.
part.
And you got to start building up the story of who's his bloodline going to be.
But
Oh, I'm sure Jimmy's coming back.
Oh, yeah.
But that kind of leads to what I'm saying though, because you still need to be able to build up Solo as a leader. You know what I'm saying? It needs to make sense.
Because right now, and I hate to say it, they got Solo as the head of the table, but he's not the star of that
He's
fucking
not.
group.
He's not.
That belongs to Jacob Fatu as the
Mhm.
star of that group.
Well, that's not even the star of the group. The star of that group is The Rock.
The Rock's not on TV, bitch. Shut up. The star of that group is Jacob Fatu.
They need to build him up.
Well, here's the thing. You're right, except for the fact that like the Bloodline doesn't even win matches anymore. They get disqualified. They don't win.
That's because they're trying to build them up
As
unstoppable and all
and,
this
and
other
crazy
shit.
and yeah, I get all that. You're not telling anybody anything we don't know, right? Like if you want to tell people something they don't know, the fact that Solo Sikoa really hasn't won a match since he beat John Cena at SummerSlam last year.
He pinned Cody Rhodes, which what gained him the match.
Okay. So he's got one win.
How many wins have you had in WWE?
What the fuck's that got to do with anything?
You're always putting people down and shit. What I'm saying is they need to build them up. Solo got his match, I think. But if they want Solo to be the leader of the group, he needs to do more. He's not.
He needs to win matches. He needs
not-
to be in matches. He needs to sit there and show his dominance. Now, granted, he can do it the same way that Roman did, which was as the match looks like he's going to lose, they come down, they cost the other person the match.
But
like
Roman, they built Roman up. They haven't built Solo up, right?
It helped Roman out a lot that he was coming off one like the greatest factions before the Bloodline, and so he was already built up through there, right?
yeah, but everybody hated.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is,
He was still winning matches though.
if they're trying to make Solo like the jewel and stand out of this bloodline, they're not. Jacob is still in the spotlight every time he comes in, and with as big as he is and doing all the acrobatics shit. Jacob, you know what I'm saying?
I agree. He's a new Umaga.
And I'll tell you the biggest thing that's probably hurting them right now, they don't have a Paul Heyman.
No. Actually, I kind of like where they are right now. And to Tino's point, because Jacob Fatu is becoming the standout of the group, and that might even be until Hikulea shows up or whomever. Like, we don't know which direction they're all going, right? With that, the fact that they're letting Solo be the mouthpiece for the rest of them, because we don't know if they can actually speak. We don't know if they can actually follow direction and you know.
They haven't let him speak, but if you go back, because I've done a deep dive research, because I'm like, where'd this fucker come from? He's good on the mic.
Oh, Jacob, yeah.
He's good on the mic. He's fucking phenomenal in the ring. You know what I'm saying? If they I think right now they're just trying to he's the enforcer, so they're not letting him speak.
Sure.
But I think once the bottom. I think if he ever does, like, I don't know if he splits off or whatever, he's got the promo.
Well, we don't know if he's got the WWE style promo.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like even though these guys came right to the main roster, it does not mean that they have all the tools. I mean, AJ Styles, day one in WWE, we knew he was phenomenal as a wrestler. That's why they put him in the Royal Rumble. Then they put him in a program with who? Chris Jericho, because they knew Chris Jericho had all the tools.
Correct.
So if you're going to build it, you're going to get it out of them. That's how you're going to do it.
Right.
And that's part of the reason why I think this Solo versus Cody thing is happening right now. Obviously, the other people that they're putting with, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens.
And I also think as far as promos too, because even though he's not on screen now, you know Paul Heyman is
he's definitely
knowledge on it. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely he's probably still backstage.
Yes, what I'm saying is he's still working with them.
And if he's not, he's on Zoom meetings every week.
Yeah, so I mean he's still Heyman, Flair, Heyman, Punk, and my man Dusty. Those are my four Dusty is right. I think my top two had to be
Mick
Dusty.
Foley's up there, man.
I don't know if he's better than Dusty and Heyman.
But no. Better than Dusty and Heyman? No, but I would say that the most famous promos that Dusty ever cut and the most famous promos that Foley ever cut are in line. Like I know the Hard Times promo got cut, but then so did the Kane Dewey promo.
Yeah, but he's not. I think the Hard Times promo is one of his better known, but he's.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I know, but like Mick Foley had those interviews with Jim Ross where he's pulling his hair out and sitting there saying, "It wasn't just one worm, Jimmy. It was a whole handful of worms." You know, like and that's
what I'm. Yeah, but getting back to it, I think as far as like I said, Solo, I don't think he's there.
Well, I think with what they've given him recently has worked. Like him sitting there with his hands like this, and they've got that.
That's Roman Ness.
It's not though.
Roman used to do the same shit.
It was always sitting on the couch in the locker room. They're all sitting at an actual table, and they're actually watching from behind him.
I got you. Okay.
And you know what it is? It looks like the shirt that they did.
Yeah.
Where Roman's sitting right at the center of the table like this, and everybody's behind. That's what it is. But that's like, and if you noticed, this week there was kind of an Easter egg there. Solo was wearing a black turtleneck with a chain, very similar to a very classic Dwayne Johnson wearing the black turtleneck with the fanny pack picture. And it's been called out now. And remember, this new Triple H era, everything that they do, everything
is intentional.
Everything's thought out.
And so, like, and not to cut you off.
No,
so like, I know you guys said that y'all like the fact that Solo was talking, but again, he's not there yet, right? And I think a mouthpiece, and this might even go along with the story too, because I feel like at some point he's going to realize or whatever that it's. I think that who he has in this corner right now, whatever, like they might end up like trying to not undermine him like intentionally or whatever, but he's going to realize, okay, I do need someone to kind of like help me rein it in. You know what I mean?
It's going to be
the Rock's a good talker too, so he came back.
So if
he's not going to wrestle.
No, he doesn't have to.
That's my point.
That's the thing. So since since Roman had Paul, it would make sense for Solo to have The Rock.
And then that's why I see maybe The Rock coming back at it.
Yeah, because I mean, when The Rock finally does come back, he might be there every week.
They're councilmen.
But he's not going to wrestle.
You don't need to.
All right, then I agree with you.
Well, every so often he does need to. If you're going to bring him back,
we would love to see him wrestle. Does he need?
I don't think he needed it. Now hitting somebody with a rock bottom and but wrestling maybe not.
Well, one match a year at WrestleMania, sure, because he still has unfinished business with Cody.
Sure,
right? Which could show if you're not going to have Roman show up at SummerSlam, you have The Rock come out, you have The Rock's music hit, and he cost Cody the match. Then Solo wins the belt, and then The Rock says, I told you I had unfinished business with you. And then you got you got a story that no one's even thinking about. And it's like right there in your fucking face. And then you do that at Royal Rumble or whatever. So that way Cody's not in the Rumble, so he can't win 3 Rumbles in a row.
And Roman in right
there. And then Roman comes back to actually cost The Rock the match or whatever. And boom, you got Rock Roman at WrestleMania. So see, we just booked Mania.
I like it.
And you guys are talking about who should be the mouthpiece and everything. A name has come up, a name from the past, but a name with bloodline ties. And you want to know who it is? Armando Alejandro Estrada.
I think.
Could you imagine if they brought him back?
If he came back, though, I think that'd be after the bloodline. I could see him putting him with Jacob Fatu, since he's the next Umaga. That would be perfect.
But I could see him coming out and actually like trying to be the hype man for the Bloodline 2.0. Now, granted, here's the thing: when the Bloodline 2.0 started, and we had Tama Tonga show up, and then we had Tonga Loa show up, it didn't feel like it was clicking. Like it wasn't hitting on all cylinders. But now that they kicked Paul out, and now that they beat up Randy Orton, and now that they beat up Kevin Owens, and now that they're saying, Cody, you have no other friends.
But I think
like it's finally hit.
I think it hit. I hate to keep sounding wrong. When Fatu came,
Sure.
when he came, that's when everybody was like, "Oh shit!" Right? And that's why I think I hate to say it, I think he's carrying this group.
Well, they're putting him in a spot where he is being booked like a superstar already, and the other guys aren't.
Yes.
Now I think that might change because I think this Friday on SmackDown you might have DIY put out a challenge to Tama and Tonga.
No, they're in that
the gauntlet match.
Yeah, with all they have to find their more contenders.
So
they're going to win that.
And if they don't, they'll be second to last.
Yeah.
But I expect them to win, and I expect Jacob Fatu to be the reason they win. Because I don't even know if those matches have disqualifications. I think they do. But the referee will get knocked out. I think they do because there's singles matches each time. And I think we have seen people get disqualified. Regardless, though, Jacob Fatu comes down, the referee gets knocked out, they win the match. They go on to SummerSlam as the opponents for DIY. And as much as I love DIY, especially with the videos that Tommaso Ciampa's been doing, trying to RKO Randy Orton, where he's like, shh, don't say anything. Don't say. And then he goes and he sees Randy Orton just doing something random, and he goes, from out of no, and Randy Orton just turns and walks away, and like he just like goes through a table or whatever. He went through an entire table of catering this week. It was great. And this week he also did one where he had his daughter sit there, and he's like, I want you to take this and go up to that guy over there and ask for his autograph. And then she's like, okay. And she goes up and she goes, Mr. Randy, can I get... And all of a sudden you just see Tommaso come running from out of nowhere, and Randy turns, he's signing the autograph. He just goes through like something. And then his daughter's like, Daddy, are you okay?
Okay.
Like those videos, and then of course they end it with what Randy Orton said to Kofi Kingston in like 2009, where he's like, stupid. And they do it every time, and dude, those are awesome.
Yeah. Let's see what is
SmackDown.
That's SmackDown. Tiffany time. Tiffany Stratton had that match won and got distracted by Bayley, and then Nia tries to hit Bayley, and she just goes over the barricade. Well, before that, let's rewind it back. When they had the side by side, the interview, and she said the only reason you beat me back then, she said, because you were clumsy and reckless. I was like, first of all, I was like, shit, shot fired, and I don't know if that was part of it or Bayley was really still salty about that shit and threw that in there, because you saw the look on Nia's face, and that made me think, I don't think that was in the script.
Well, I don't know if it was in the script, but I've gone on record as saying that Nia has been a lot better in the ring.
Except when she dropped.
Oh, yeah. Well, she still kind of does that from time to time, and yet no one seems to be injured from it now. So I don't know what's going on. Like if she learned that, like maybe she's grabbing the second rope now.
No, she fucking let go and banged on that girl's chest.
Yeah, I remember
Lyra,
that. She was splat. She was like a death scene in The Boys.
Yeah. So I think Bayley got the best of her because Nia she got pissed off. So fast forward, she tries to hit her with the case. Now, yes, I was watching something and it didn't even dawn on me. I was watching something on Facebook and they were like, people have been speculating because Tiffy did say
Tiffany
she wanted a
blinged out
So that was their. That's why Bailey destroyed it. So
yeah.
I'm waiting to see what this case is going to look like.
Oh, it's.
And they said normally when you get your own personalized case, that means she's not going to be cashing in because she's going to carry it for a while. Because you notice that when Brock had the boombox, he didn't cash in right away. Damian had his for like forever.
Brock didn't wait long though.
Damian had his forever.
And if you remember, like our show was the one that actually sat there and said they should put speakers in that damn thing because he started walking down with it like this, and I was like, wouldn't it be funny? I was like, wouldn't it be funny if Brock in the Bank comes down next week and it's got speakers in it, and the very next week he had speakers in the damn thing.
So Tiffy in the Bam. I just want
to it's gonna be blinged out.
It's gonna be pink.
It's gonna be bedazzled.
But it's gonna be pink definitely and bedazzled.
The question will be whether or not it's like an entire pink jewel set around the entire case, or if it'll just be like the Money in the Bank portion, or Tiffy. It'll definitely say Tiffy in the Bank going forward.
That'll be.
And Nia Jax will probably be the one that gives it to her.
Yeah, but she's gonna cash it in on Nia. See, I
think she's gonna cash it in at SummerSlam right now. By the way,
that's why I'm like, if they give her a personalized case, I don't think she will.
Well, it depends because when they gave the Senor Money in the Bank one, when they did that, they sold them at that pay-per-view, and they sold a shit ton of them right there. So I have a feeling she's gonna walk in with it, and even if she walks into SummerSlam with it, and they sell them at like the WWE World Event thing that they do with those, like they'll sell out of those, and then they don't need them anymore. Like, so then you can cash it in.
So does she cash in on Bailey when down, or does she cash in on Nia? Does she turn on Nia?
I would love to see her turn on Nia.
Because she already gets a pop, so it won't be unreasonable.
Unreasonable?
Yes, Lefter. It won't be unreasonable.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that again. That's why that's why I called you out on it.
But it wouldn't. I'd agree with it. You know what I'm saying? Because she already gets a face pop when it's Tiffy time. People fucking cheer. They're supposed to boo her.
They're supposed to boo her, but she's got 2 years in the industry, and she is magnificent. Like not just looks, but her persona as the Barbie doll.
Shut the Mandy Rose thing down.
She's even better than Mandy Rose because she has everything Mandy Rose had, and she's a gymnast. She is a legitimate D1 gymnast, and like Ludwig Kaiser is the happiest man on earth, without a fucking doubt. But she has not only, she's like a Kurt Angle with how she picked this up.
Yeah.
And I will admit that that's mainly because they have NXT.
Yeah.
Okay. But she came out of nowhere. She got over in NXT like as a heel, which normally when you're getting over in NXT, you've got the entire crowd cheering you. She had the entire crowd booing her. And yet when she got moved to the main roster, kept the exact same character, everything else going.
You know who else is going to do that from NXT? And I said it time and time again.
Trick Williams?
Yeah, that's one. But
Sol Ruka?
She probably will too, but that's not what. Oba Femi.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oba Femi.
Yes, sir.
Have you seen Oba Femi on NXT? Nigerian. He's like 6'8".
I feel like I've seen.
He's been in the business 6 months.
He's over like that.
He's been 6 months. I think what
on his
2 months in?
fifth match.
He won the North American title. Hadn't lost it yet. The people go fucking crazy when his music hits, and he is. But
he's Brock Lesnar.
Everything. Yes, he's got everything. He's got the power. As big as he is,
they need to put him with Paul Heyman.
As big as he is, he can move. He's got the fucking promo. That mug's ready. He's ready for prime time right now.
He is, but he will get the NXT championship before.
I'd be so scared about. So I'd be so scared about seeing. When I see us, sorry, bro.
Mm-hmm.
When I see us really get over like that, I think back to like Ahmed Johnson. I think about Bobby Lashley. I think
Well,
about
hold on. Bobby Lashley is a two-time world champion in WWE
when
within the last 4 years.
I know he had to leave and go do fucking mixed martial arts and then come back.
Hold on, he was still ECW champion in
I don't give a
WWE,
shit about
and
What?
hold on.
Rob,
He
if you tell me anybody about being ECW champion again, me you gonna fight.
Christian
You know
Cage?
good goddamn well that shit didn't mean nothing.
Not
Not a
CM Punk?
fucking thing.
But again, you're right. But he said us, you Christian CM Punk, right? So when they gave it to Kobe, but then he lost it quick, right? They gave it to Big E, he lost it quick. And don't give me The Rock because The Rock isn't. He is, but he's also Pabst and Mo, right? I'm talking full.
Well,
Okay, it just takes them a really long time to pull that trigger. When I'm just
hold on. One thing that we can all agree on is that the entire industry has changed now with Triple H.
No, big fact.
Yes. So now you're right. So Bubba Femi might come up and do it, but he brought fucking Carmelo Hayes. We know he's got everything. He's still
but he's small. But small still does matter when you're going up against a Braun Strowman.
True.
What about Trick? Trick's a big dude.
Trick is.
When he comes to the mainstream.
We still know that Trick needs more work.
Okay, but then Ova.
Ova's it, man. Like,
so
Ova literally is.
I see. I agree with that. Well, now the Triple H is there, right? But we all know that Triple H and Shawn were making these stars, and they were making stars for everybody. But when they got up to the main roster, Vince didn't do it.
Yeah.
Well, look at Karrion Kross.
Yeah, but
Karrion Kross is this.
Yeah, but
and he had all the tools.
Including a hot wife. Happens more than us than that.
No. In the last 4 years of Vince McMahon, that happened to everybody. It happened to everybody. Like, think about how hot Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano were in NXT.
They're small. And
you're 100% right. And you're 100% right. And what did Vince McMahon do? He went, "Oh, we're going to take Tommaso Ciampa. We're not even going to worry about Johnny Gargano." And what are we going to do with him?
Vince isn't there now.
Can I say it? What? He put him with The Miz, and he wasn't doing shit with The Miz.
Okay. But now we're fast forwarding. Vince isn't there anymore. Triple H is, and he was there when Carmelo started. So why, when Carmelo gets here, he's still mid card?
For the same reason that those guys are. He's got to work himself up. He's working against people like or against Andrade. He's working against people that are looked at as Triple H guys. He's getting TV time, which is something that didn't happen with a lot of those people for a long time. Like look at Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods, if he were in AEW, would have won whatever that 4th men's championship is. I don't even know. Like they got so fucking many that like it's hard to say which one it is. Like,
our Xavier Woods good enough to be a world champion as well too.
In TNA.
Well, they would have said that Kofi wouldn't.
Well, hold on.
Kofi.
Dolph Ziggler was a 2-time WWE world champion, and they didn't use him at all for like 7 years. So as soon as he left,
9 years in WWE. And the reason why I bring this stuff up is because I've been watching these. I'm on my YouTube short shit. So I've been watching. I watched the Money in the Bank cash in with Dolph Ziggler, right? But he got hurt. Right. But within the same 30 minutes, I also watched when Shelton Benjamin went up against Shawn Michaels for that match or whatever to go into. What was that? The one where he got Sweet Chin Music coming off the
Oh yeah.
Like his class. And from that point, he was on a losing streak for like 8 months. Like just skidded all the way back down. You know what I mean?
Well,
and Shelton Benjamin is like probably like the most underused like athlete or whatever.
There is one. So Shelton Benjamin, I would say, is in the ring one of the best ever, right?
For sure.
At the same time, when it came to all of the other things, like look at Cesaro, Claudio Castagnoli. Where's he right now? Yeah, he might have won the Ring of Honor World Championship, which doesn't mean a fucking thing. It's an ECW championship.
I guess
And he never got to that level in WWE that so many people said that he should have. Shelton Benjamin, exact same thing. Shelton Benjamin literally was Brock Lesnar's tag team partner in OVW. He was the Marty Jannetty.
Right.
And he was going to be the Marty Jannetty out of those two. There's no way you're not.
Sure.
You know, like, you're not going to tell me that Brock Lesnar is going to be the Jim the Anvil Neidhart in that group. He's just not, right? So, you know, the interesting thing, and since we're talking about this, Bobby Lashley's contract apparently is up in a couple weeks, and they've already written him off. Like, they're like,
but I haven't used him. He hadn't been on TV.
I think he's hurt. Like, I literally think the guy's been hurt the whole time.
Yeah, he was with the Street Profits and
then disappeared before WrestleMania again. Like, that's 2 years in a row. You know, like, and Bobby Lashley is like I'll say this, and you guys will hate me for it, but when Brock Lesnar sat there and said, "Yeah, you're like the dark meat Brock Lesnar, but nobody knows who you are," he's not wrong. Like, Bobby Lashley had so much going for him. Like, he should be one of the guys that they're putting an A&E biography on for. The guy stopped a bank robbery. The guy literally was an Army Ranger for like 12 years. Like, everything that he fought in MMA, and I think he still got an undefeated record. Like, all those things that he actually accomplished are amazing.
Right.
But how good was he on the microphone? How long did it actually take him to live up to his potential in a ring? It took until he was the TNA champion.
Brock's not good on
I'm about to
Brock,
stay out my head.
You're right.
Brock's not good on the microphone.
You're right.
Well, not now. He might be okay. He's okay.
Not even okay. He's good on the mic now. He's fun.
But he wasn't like that when he came.
You're absolutely right. But when you have Paul Heyman wanting to be with you, there's a difference. There's a difference. Like, we knew when Curtis Axel got put with Paul Heyman that wasn't going to work.
Let me ask you a question. What's that man's name? Greg Khali? What title did he win?
The world title.
Where he did?
Yeah.
Where? Who was his mouthpiece?
Shut
up. That's what I'm talking about.
Rodrigo.
That's what I'm talking about. And he couldn't wrestle.
Rodrigo.
I don't give a fuck.
Ooh.
So this
Rodrigo was. No. Singh.
Something Singh.
Ranjan Singh.
Yeah.
See, I knew it.
So you had to like fumble around for that shit. You might as well have been Google.
Who was Bobby Lashley's?
That's what I'm saying though. Like,
I know. It was that one that somehow keeps saying he's retired, and then he comes back and he's in AEW again. What's his name? See, can't remember. Lashley. That guy.
That's
trash.
Khali got a fucking world title and he couldn't wrestle. This dude couldn't speak.
Hey, hold on,
bro.
Okay, you were talking about this, right?
And you keep talking about this. And what you
no. There are fewer guys from India wrestling.
All right.
There are few, and
but we listed a whole bunch of names.
Yeah, but again, you mentioned Carmelo. Carmelo's young. I've already said Carmelo's the future.
Not even.
Hold on, Carmelo's the future.
Okay.
I said that him and Braun Breaker are going to be your next Randy Orton and John Cena feuds, where you keep them on two different programs for most of the time, and then when you put them together, they make magic, and they're gonna do that, right? Trick Williams, when they decide they want to bring him up, I'd actually put him back with Melo, like maybe even put Melo as like a guy who gets beat down, and all of a sudden Trick's got to make the save for him, so that gets them back together for a little while, so they can build themselves up, and then what happens?
Okay.
You get one of them, like maybe even a four-way match where they're both in the match for the world title or whatever. Because here's the thing: wrestlers in WWE aren't going to wrestle till they're 45 anymore. They're not, because they're making a ton of money.
Sure.
So you've got a smaller period of time. You've already got people like Seth saying that like this is my last contract. AJ Styles, my last contract. You got all those guys that are at the top of the card or top mid card, whatever, that are like, it's time to put people over. Hell, Randy Orton's like, I want to do it until I'm 50. Triple H isn't going to let him. Like, because he's like 5 years younger than me. So he's not going another 10 years.
Randy looks like he could go though.
But Randy,
He
especially with the schedule that they give him now, right?
Yeah.
But Randy's going to be looked at as the Undertaker, where you're going to have him come back at Royal Rumble. You're going to have him have a WrestleMania match. Then you're going to have him have a SummerSlam match. And he's going to have 3 major matches a year. But Randy still wants to go. So Randy will be on house shows and whatever, and he'll still work. The guys coming up, and by the way, they're more like the entire roster's more diverse now.
Facts.
Like,
well, and you're right. What I'm saying, are they going to push him?
Do you not think that Obafemi is going to get pushed on the main roster?
That's
He would be pushed to the moon by Vince McMahon.
That's
tomorrow.
fine. So
By Vince McMahon tomorrow.
There's a difference between push and push to be that guy. Push to be him.
And
You can push somebody to where like they're that guy that's like a force to put up against the guy that you want to be on top. You can push him to that point, but when it gets to that quote unquote last ceiling or whatever, he stops right there. That's the part that I'm worried about.
You guys are getting defensive about things.
I'm not getting defensive. I'm just
saying
arguing the
facts.
point.
All right. Jinder Mahal won the world title.
Mm-hmm.
They put the belt on him because they wanted to go to Saudi Arabia and have him as the champion go into Saudi Arabia. What happened 2 weeks before that match? AJ Styles beat Jinder Mahal, and the match ended up being Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles at Survivor Series. And the reason why was because Jinder Mahal wasn't who Brock wanted to work with. And Brock had a contract.
I've just seen that.
And Brock had a contract where he could sit there and say, I don't see money there. And Jinder Mahal, to his credit,
he actually admitted that.
He sat there and he said, you have 2 big guys that wrestle the same style.
Right.
It's going to be a terrible match.
He legit said that Brock was just going to like suplex him over and over again, so on and so forth. That's fine.
Which is what he did to AJ Styles that match.
Right.
But it's fun to watch the little guy get thrown.
I get that, but after seeing this pattern, I'm going
to put it this way: when you look at who's coming up from NXT right now, Trick Williams, Obafemi, Wesley, all have held major titles in NXT. Trick Williams didn't even hold a lower belt; he held just the top championship because he got himself over. He got himself over. The difference between the Triple H going to Vince McMahon and saying, this is your next guy. First of all, I don't think that ever happened in those last like 4 years that Vince McMahon ran WWE, right? We even saw that when AEW started and all of a sudden Vince McMahon fired half the people that worked at NXT and barely kept Triple H, right? We saw that. I know we've gone long. We're getting out there with what we're talking about.
Good topic.
It really is. But since Shawn and Triple H have been in charge, they've been in sync with this.
Yeah.
There's some people that, and you guys both know CJ. CJ has sat there and told me multiple times, I don't know what they're doing with Carmelo. I think that he's just floundering. And I was like, I don't think he's floundering, but I think he's trying to find his footing. And he's using the exact same gimmick that he started in NXT with. He's not using the gimmick that he got over in NXT with. He's using the same gimmick that they started him with in NXT.
But then he left on the him gimmick. That's the gimmick he's doing, right?
Is it really the him gimmick? Like, they might show it on the video package, but he's not saying, I'm him. You know, because one, he's losing matches. But I think that it's one of those things where like Triple H feels that more of the audience is watching the NXT from Shawn Michaels than they are because the ratings are up. But more people are watching the NXT from Shawn Michaels than they were when NXT 2.0 was going on. so they don't have to do as much with him until they're ready to do something with him.
Okay.
The question, though, and to your both of your credit here, is that when is that? With a guy like Obafemi, when he comes in, they're going to give him the Braun Strowman treatment, which is going to be this: he's going to come in and he's going to wrestle two random dudes. He's going to wrestle two random dudes for like 2 months, and then all of a sudden, he's going to sit there and start wrestling one dude that is actually like a mid-carder. And when he starts doing that, then all of a sudden, like, a U.S. champion is going to sit there and say, I'm going to hold an open challenge, and Obafemi's going to answer it, and you're going to see that champion just go, fuck. Because that's what's going to happen. Because when he threw that F20 or whatever the fuck it was that he did to Wesley, where he just spun him around, like, dude literally looked like that right there. He threw him up.
So instead of F5, he got him on the shoulders, but he picked his ass up and like that.
And he was in the air going like he just kept going.
He's fucking phenomenal, dude. I think he's more than a U.S. strap, though. That's what I'm saying.
He is, but there. If there is a person that can go immediately to the world title, it is him.
So, just throwing it out there. When would be a good time to actually bring back like a Goldberg-esque streak?
They've already done it. They did it with Asuka, and then Vince ruined it.
They just did it with Roman.
But that's been like six years ago now.
They did it with Jade Cargill and AEW.
Well, no, I'll take that back. Roman lost. No, he didn't.
He lost 2 matches, I think, the entire 4 years.
And they were tag matches, so they weren't single matches. I think he's talking about like Goldberg didn't lose.
Right, because I just thought about this when you
well,
like,
Goldberg was never in a tag match though back then.
So the only reason why I bring it up because you was like, who'd you compare him to? You said Obafemi would come in like Braun Strowman, and he would be facing like 2 jobbers, right? And he was like, he put him down or whatever, which is very similar to what Goldberg was doing, right? And if they're going to push him like that.
Gunter did have that streak. He didn't lose.
He didn't. Well, okay. he didn't. He lost 1 match by count out, but even in that was already like 500 days into his Intercontinental title. But before he even won the Intercontinental title, he hadn't he's been pinned once on the main roster by Sami Zayn. That's it.
That sounds like a program by itself.
Yeah,
it was.
Like with Oba, if they're going to push him, why not
like that?
Yeah, why not put him up against the guy or whatever who had that streak before?
We'll put him against a Gunther. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I almost think so. So with Obafemi, first of all, I don't like those streaks because then they get into a position where it's like, when do we end it? You know, look at the 4-year reign of Roman Reigns as the world champion. It's like, when do we end it? Like,
that was smart though.
And then they had the WrestleMania Undertaker streak for like 20 years.
21. Yeah, it was 21-0, and then he lost 1. Then he went like 4-1 after that. You know, he was 24-2 by the end because I think he did 25-2 because I think he did 27 of them.
He lost to Brock.
He lost to Brock
for sure. And then you said Roman.
And he lost to Roman. Because remember, the next night Roman came out and didn't say anything, and then he goes, "This is my yard," and then he just walked out.
Was it 2 years back to back, or did it skip a year?
No, there was definitely something. There was a couple.
He had
there were 2 in between.
Yeah, he had
I think it was 23-1.
I think it was just Shawn and.
Well, no. So he went all the way to 21-0, and 21-0 I think was CM Punk.
No, Brock broke his winning streak.
Right, but 21-0 was CM Punk. Like he got to 21.
Oh, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was Brock 21-1 because Rory was the 1 in 21-1.
Yeah.
And then
because I think.
And then he went 2 more because he beat John Cena and then he beat like Bray Wyatt and then he lost to Roman Reigns and then he beat
Shawn and
No, that was earlier.
That was earlier.
Shawn and Hunter.
Yeah, that was 25, 26, 27, 28.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't lose until 30. because that was the Brock match.
Gotcha. Okay, so I don't know why I was thinking because I thought those were his last match.
No, 29 was the CM Punk match. 30 was Brock. 31 I think was Cena.
Mm-hmm.
He might have even skipped 1 year. Just
I feel like he did.
well,
okay.
he went like 27 years in a row at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Even though he would get like surgeries, like out that, like he was wrestling like one match a year, and it was just at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Hips.
But then he lost to Roman, and everybody was like, that would have been so much better if he didn't lose to Brock.
Yeah.
But and the Brock match, I still to this day say Brock carried him through that match because he concussed him.
Yeah.
Or Undertaker concussed himself. I don't know how the concussion happened, but Brock had to carry him through that match. And people who sit there and talk about how Brock didn't care about the industry or anything else, you and I have talked about this multiple times, that Brock Lesnar cares so much about the business because Brock Lesnar cares about the money in the business that he is not going to allow a bad match. So when he is sitting there and he sees that his opponent can't do certain things, he's sitting there putting himself through hell so that way the match still looks good.
Yeah,
and
I agree with that.
And like, it'll be interesting to see when they decide, okay, Brock Lesnar's not on the no-fly list anymore, and whether or not he wrestles again or he just goes into the Hall of Fame. Oh yeah, we haven't even been looking at the chat.
I have. I gave it.
So yeah.
I mean, if we wanted to come up with a list of who the up and coming stars are, I would say that there's just as many. I would say just as many minorities as white guys coming up.
I agree with that, but I'm saying once you get up there, it's been
It
seems like in the history.
It'll be interesting to see how Triple H
minorities
handles
don't
it.
get, minorities get the short end of the stick.
There's a difference though, because right now there is a minority as the world heavyweight champion, Damian Priest, right? In fact, technically, Cody Rhodes is half Cuban, so
you will not give me that ball.
He won't let it go.
Give it.
But
Okay. I'm just gonna put it. Give me a black champion. You're giving me half Cuban. You're giving me Puerto Ricans. Give me a black world champion.
Well, I'm okay with it if it's Obafemi, if it's Carmelo Hayes, but they have to be in a program that gets them there.
Yes,
and
I'm not arguing with that. I'm just saying.
Well, and let me go ahead and say that I was one of the people that sat there and said I hated the fact that the one person that had won the world title before Money in the Bank was in the Money in the Bank, won the Money in the Bank, and then put the Money in the Bank up for the championship that night. The other 5 people in that match had never won the world title. I would have been okay with any of them. Mm-hmm. And then they didn't even have like Ilya Dragunov win his match to get into it because they had Drew McIntyre win that match. So like the people that you want to see, because let's be real, people that are wrestling fans want to see wrestlers as the world champions, right?
Sure.
Do we want to see sports entertainers as world champions? Yes, because we want them to be able to talk with Mike. Tiffany Stratton is a great example of that because she doesn't have enough time to sit there and call her a true to life professional wrestler. Like as soon as she gets a movie role, she's out, guys. Like let's not even like portray that as anything else. When she has the opportunity to take that and make $10 million a year doing something else, she's out. And I don't blame her. Yeah. Hell, John Cena right now, sitting there 20 years in the business, whatever.
Yeah, he's
and you know what? I love the fact that he said, I'm giving the WWE 2025 to sit there and go out on a high note. And I hope to God, knocking on wood, and I'm sorry if it just made a lot of noise on the microphone, but knocking on wood, I hope to God he goes out without injury in 2025. because I'd hate to have him sit there and go, because I lost 3 months, I'm going to come back for another 3
I
months.
think he's pretty.
Durable.
Yeah, I don't think he doesn't get hurt that much.
Except he's
older.
He's between our age,
Yeah.
dude. Like the body just doesn't hold up the way that it used to.
I mean, but we just said Orton. Even Orton's still going.
Orton has now started putting himself into the bumps all the time. And sure, for the entirety of 2025, that's what John Cena is going to do. You know, and he'll have Peacemaker season 2 come out, so it'll be, you know, we'll get a lot.
I think Cena is smart and he keeps himself in shape. I think he's smart enough to know what,
I think that certain people in the industry have figured out different methods of keeping their body in line. You're absolutely right. But you look at CM Punk. He did seven years off, came back, and all of a sudden blew out both triceps. Right. Also had a foot injury. You know, Edge. Edge was gone for 9 years. Edge has had 2 major injuries.
But Cena hadn't been gone that long. He would come back periodically and wrestle. You know what I'm saying? He did. So he wasn't gone like these guys were gone 9 years.
Well, they're also protecting him in his matches now too. A lot of tag team matches, a lot of 4 moves and you're done matches. Him getting pinned. You know, like
he'll probably do the same thing coming.
I mean, he said 30 to 40 dates. I expect 30 to 40 decent matches out of him because I do think he's going to go, okay, in January, I'm getting a ring and I'm going to sit there, run the ropes. I'm going to get my body in shape and I'm going to be.
But I think he can also choose who he wants to work with too. So I can see him working with like an AJ Styles. I can see him working with, you know what I'm saying, people who can keep up with him and keep him safe.
I would like to see this become the norm or whatever, just like they do with the NBA or whatever.
Well, this is literally what Derek Jeter did. It's what Kobe Bryant did. It's literally the final year. So like anybody who sits there and goes, oh, if they come to town and John Cena's on the card, I'm not going. They're full of shit.
Yeah.
Like if they're coming to Raleigh, it's going to be the one time we finally sit there and go, fine, we'll do it. Right. Like I'm already saying I want to go to WrestleMania next year. Like WrestleMania in Vegas, fuck yeah, let's go. Like I'm starting to put the money aside right now so that I can sit there and go to WrestleMania for the first time. And if it's do I go Saturday? Do I go Sunday? I'm going to figure out what day John Cena is going to be there, and that's the day I'm going. Hopefully, that guy wants to be there for 2 matches.
That's a Sunday match. That's a Sunday match.
Except previously, he's done the first match on Saturday.
But previously, he hasn't announced that it's his last year.
So I think they're going to put.
That's his last match.
He's going to be main or semi.
I don't. He doesn't have to be now. That's the thing. He could be the opening match either night, but it's going to sell tickets either way.
But I think because he's already said this is his last, I think they're going to
sell like.
Well,
they're going to put him on the main.
It's only different because he's already said, even though it's his last WrestleMania, it's not his last match. 2025 is his year. He's doing the entire circuit, right? He's probably doing Saudi Arabia.
He said WrestleMania was
he said 2025.
No. When he did the post-show interview and he said asphalt and they put him on first. So of course he's sitting there. He's like they're like John, you can't take any more questions. He's like, one more question, and they're like, John, you can't take one more question. Like one of the first questions asked was so is WrestleMania your last match? And he said no. I'm doing 2025.
I misunderstood. I thought it was.
I think his last match. By the way, no. He's going the whole year. He's doing the whole year. His last match is going to be Madison Square Garden the day after Christmas. And by the way, if it's not that, it'll be that week because they'll be in Boston in his hometown. And if Netflix is smart, Netflix is going to show those matches live.
They're going to push that shit to the fucking
moon. But yeah, they will be on Netflix.
Like
that'll be as soon as you fucking see his face.
John Cena's last match. John Cena's last.
Don't go.
Right there.
Yeah, exactly.
And ball spot.
Yeah,
it'll be the back of his head. It'll be like goodbye. He'll be like waving like this, and all you'll see is Potsy.
What about this?
No. It'll be the back of his
I
head
know.
with it.
But he's doing this.
Oh yeah. He'll be like this.
That's gonna be a sad day. I honestly, like, as much grief as
So
a lot of people have given Cena over the years, like, man, go ahead.
I just thought I probably. So if they're going to Netflix, are they coming off Peacock? So will Netflix have the PLEs now?
No. Initially. Current contract with Peacock goes through most of next year. When that contract comes up, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Mhm.
Remember, Peacock still owns USA.
Mm.
So I don't see Peacock saying, no, we don't want it anymore. Question will be whether or not it's still as hot as it is right now. Because if it's as hot as it is right now, it's going to go for another couple billion, not just $1 billion like it did last time.
But to Netflix or Peacock? That's what I'm saying. So
Doesn't matter. Like it'll be someone.
I want to know who will watch my PLEs. That's all.
Nah, fair.
Question. Well, I mean, hell, the Peacock just told me they're raising my rate like $5 a month.
Oh, Netflix is definitely going up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
But they're getting so much more.
yeah, but it's
They
so
have to.
it's so expensive already. Like here you have all these other ones going for like $5 a month, $7 a month, or whatever, and then you have Netflix going $23 a month.
Give it here.
motherfucker.
Give it here.
Oh, you want 4K? Oh, you want commercial free? Oh, you want?
watch Hulu? Hulu ain't got shit.
So,
I'm watching
Yeah.
X Files on it right now because I gotta find something to watch.
What's the samurai show? I still gotta finish that.
Which show?
The samurai show that came on FX.
Shogun.
Yeah, shit's fire.
Yeah,
Shit's fire.
yeah. It's like 8 episodes.
But real quick, let me go back to Raw real quick. I think the
Oh, Raw. Okay.
Yeah, the only thing because it's like 11. So the only thing, other thing, oh, it's 10:30. The only thing I want to point out, and I thought it's a big focal point, two things. We finally got the Creeds
Yes.
coming out
Yes.
to help Chad Gable.
Yeah.
That's going to be a badass stable. But then you also had, so Chad Gable came out and was like, and I figured out who the leader is. It's Bo Dallas. I'm like, no shit, Sherlock. Like, so he calls Bo Dallas out. Bo's coming down the ramp. The Creeds jump him.
And then he starts laughing.
They're beating his ass in the ring. So he's laughing. I'm like, is he? I don't remember Bray. I don't think Bray did that. I think Mick Foley used to laugh when they were beating his ass.
Bray would laugh depending on who it was, and it depended on the moment. Like there were always times where, like, again, this is where me being the creative that I am, I go, if you want him to be invulnerable, make a reason behind it, right? So when he's got the lamp and the lamp's lit, invulnerability.
He wasn't even.
He was accepting the beating, but when someone's hurting, they feel like they're being beaten.
Yeah, so they're beating him, and then the rest of the six come out.
Right.
And
then they have their moment,
but I'm wondering is, so when Bray introduced the Fiend, right? It's when it was like his switch, just like when Balor became the Beast. I mean, became the demon. So is Bo Dallas, and then when he can't take it anymore, he switches to Uncle Howard. You know what I mean? I wonder how that is gonna work.
I mean, I do think it's a psyche thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I also think that when they announce a match, it'll determine which version of him you're getting. The nice thing about it is that by having it be Bo Dallas, you obviously have moments where he's going to lose matches. And he's always been a jobber. Well, at least on the main roster. He was actually NXT champion.
He did a little bit, but yeah.
I love the B
Yeah.
team. I love the B team. But on the main roster, he's been a jobber. So I'd be fine with when he's Bo Dallas, he's still a jobber. But then, like, he keeps coming out with the rest of the six, beating down the people that, like, beat him in a match. So that way they're like, we want another match with you, and it's going to be no disqualification. And as soon as it's no disqualification, it's like,
Then he's Uncle Howdy.
then it'd be like, I'd really like to do this kind of match with you, but instead, I think someone else needs to take my place. And then he turns around, puts the mask on, and he's like, Uncle Howdy wants this match.
I'm waiting this.
So like the Mick Foley, Three Faces of Foley thing, where it's like, I know a guy who will take this match, and I think you know who he is. Bang bang, you know, like that kind of moment.
I'm cool with that. My only issue, and I think Finn Balor turned me off this shit.
Oh, I
I
love
need
when
to
Finn
see
Balor
like
does
a difference in like
Moveset.
your move set. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
his-
if Bo Dallas is a jobber, right? And
Yes.
then he brings out Uncle Howdy or whatever, and he's just like,
Bo Dallas in a mask.
yeah, and he's just Bo Dallas in a mask. I don't give a fuck.
Because
Like,
that is true. Both, I mean,
100%.
Finn Balor and the Demon had the same.
same
moves,
moves.
even
There's
entrance.
no difference. At least be a little bit more aggressive.
It was a different entrance.
No, he still did the
Because
thing.
when he would crawl
No,
out.
I'm that. But when he got in the ring, he was still doing the whole when the music hit. Just do something different.
Well, even when he would do that, though, like the lights would change.
Oh.
Like there was differences. But of course that was like in NXT, I think that the Demon was really carried well.
Because if you and true to form, if they don't want to copy exactly what Bray did, but when Bray was Bray Wyatt and when he was a Fiend, he still had different moves.
They were different.
The only thing he kept was probably he might have done the upside down thing and the Sister Abigail, but his defensive and his offensive moveset were
Mhm.
different. What do you say?
It's about John Cena.
Oh.
No, I agree. I agree with that. I always like if it's supposed to feel like a different character, they should have different things. I mean, like Chris Jericho wouldn't do the same moves
Right.
when he was a heel that he would do as a face.
Right.
And it's because that's how you're supposed to do it. You're
Right.
not supposed to give the crowd what they want. You're supposed to give the crowd
Like
what they don't want.
I'm
Right.
interested to see the 6. So we already seen Bo Dallas out of
Well, now we've seen Eric Rowan because he was in the video.
right. So, but I'm wondering is he gonna same thing? Will he wrestle as Rowan and then wrestle as whatever member? You know what I'm saying? I wonder how the rest of the 6 are they going to just come out in their characters, or are they going to wrestle as themselves and then as a character as well? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, and I think that how you have to work it and how you have to try to sell it is similar to the Demon, where when it happens, it's special.
So, are they all jobbers when they're not in? You know, because
I wouldn't call them jobbers. Like
you said, Bo Dallas was a jobber, right? So
yeah, but Eric Rowan wasn't.
and neither and Nikki when she was crazy Nikki.
Right.
So
Dexter Loomis wasn't a jobber.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see.
Joe Gacy, maybe. like there's gonna be one character that doesn't work well in the.
But I think Gacy was a smart
addition.
Yeah, because he had the whole Bray Wyatt-esque character in when he was in NXT.
Well, he had the John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah, so he was,
Yeah.
but the cult and all that stuff, like Bray Wyatt did with the Wyatt family, right? So I think he was a good fit.
So 2 things. One, I've been tapping. Can you please hand me?
It was the bottom.
Oh,
That
I thought you were tapping me for
No.
like looking at the comments.
No, he wanted more help.
What? How do you?
No, I'm joking.
You
I'm
came
joking,
to be
I'm
on the
joking.
show.
And I think I've been a very vocal, integral
So
part of this episode.
What's your
In
second one?
the second part, I think that their characters,
now.
their characters are different. So like, all right, so with the Wyatt 6, I think like Bray hides behind his natural face, right? I think
You mean
like
Bo?
excuse me, Bo. I'm sorry.
He does look a
He
lot
look-
more like his brother, but skinnier.
Yes.
Right. And I think like Uncle Howdy is like that's
I hate
his
that.
Batman
I
shit.
hate that.
That's his Batman shit. Like Bruce is actually the mask, whatever, whereas Batman is like him, right? Versus like with Eric Rowan or whatever, like I think the whole sheep mask or whatever is like him. That whole promo with him like having to deal with
Brody dying.
Bodie dying
Ah,
and
man.
Bray dying, that shit had me
Yeah, that
teared
got me
up
too.
or whatever. But like,
That was deep.
that shit was like heartfelt. I felt that shit.
So I'm wondering if they're gonna do that every week with a different character.
Well, I was hoping they would because I started wondering whether or not this was the first time they did it because I was like I remember Bo, I remember Bo, I remember Bo, and then this time it was Rowan, and I'm like, oh.
But
And I'm okay. Like people are sitting there saying that they're okay if they don't actually wrestle their first match as a group or whatever until WrestleMania.
I think this is important character building to get into their psyche and get to know what makes them tick. So yeah, I'm cool with them not wrestling if they keep these videotapes coming and interviewing them.
I love that this one came on the Pat McAfee show,
That shit was funny.
I like
but it's because Pat McAfee gets millions of viewers a day.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that like and he's like, yeah, I'll do it, fuck, whatever. Like,
Well, they because originally, if you notice, they kept Pat was supposed to get the first box, but that's when his father-in-law was ever. That's why Michael kept getting the boxes. That's why he came and goes, okay, it's your turn.
well, except McAfee has sat there and said, I don't want any more of these boxes. You bring them to Raw. you give them to Michael Cole. And the whole thing's been good. Like all that, the build up for it and everything has been great. But like, is it getting stale already?
I don't think so. Because but
Some
see, here's the
people
thing.
think so.
But here's the thing, though. If they weren't doing this and they went ahead and throwing there about, oh, you're too fast. I think they need to
Agreed.
build this. They need to slow cook this. You know what I'm saying? I think after the last member gets a little interview, and then, or even now, they can still maybe have now that you've got Bo's story and you've got Rowan's story, go ahead, maybe let them have a match, you know, but don't let them wrestle until they have their turn telling the story.
Well, originally you and I were talking about how like War Games should totally be like Bloodline versus Bloodline, right?
Mhm.
Well, now you have 5 men and 1 woman, like you're Wyatt 6. So you have your 5 people that could be in War Games.
Yeah, so Chad still has to. So he's got.
Chad would need to find 2 other people.
Well, he's Chad, and then he's got the Creeds. You know, Ivy will probably follow along with the Creeds.
Well, yeah, but I don't necessarily think they're going to put 5 men and 1 woman on both sides, or maybe 4 and 1, maybe. So then you still have to find 1 more person that wants to be on Chad's team, and I don't know who, like, because you're not going to get Otis, you're not going to get Tozawa.
Who I think? No, they let him go.
Who?
Gabe Stevens, bro. Damien Kemp.
Oh yeah. Damon Kemp. Yeah, he did. Well, I think his contract ended.
But that would be perfect because he was also a Olympian. Him because remember he was in the Olympics, so that'd be kind of cool to put him on. I mean, you could have Otis turn and come back.
I don't think so. No. I don't think so. I don't know what they've got planned for them, and I don't think that's a good thing that they're leaving because when Otis and Chad were like awesome, they literally were like Patrick Swayze and Chris Farley doing the skit from.
I really think Otis has too much potential. They've got to do something with Otis if they don't.
Do they bring back Tucky?
The Janetti of that team.
Obviously, because Otis is still there, although Otis is not a Shawn Michaels.
I don't know if you let him do his thing. Otis got too.
There's too much
comic. There's haha with Otis. They need to get.
There's too much talent on all the rosters on all the major wrestling programs at this point, to where you're literally losing people in the shuffle no matter what. They can be over and you're losing them in the shuffle, and that's what's scary.
Well, we talk about AEW. I think it's for a while. WWE has started doing it too. They're using the same people, right? So I like that Triple H is now bringing the people from NXT, and he is using them where AEW right now they're using the same people. You got all these good undercard young talent that they aren't pushing. And I'm glad that you got people like Edge, and you got people like even like Jericho's willing to. All right, I'm going to try to help raise this kid up.
Well, there's an interesting thing going on that people have been talking about. Like, for example, Zelina Vega has had like 3 matches on TV just recently, right? but yet she hasn't been used on the house show circuit at all. So the fact that like she's not getting the reps also makes people wonder whether or not she's good enough to be getting these matches against like Liv Morgan. And they're absolutely right. On the microphone, she's phenomenal. But when she gets in the ring, she doesn't have the reps. So the matches, they have a couple flubs, they have this, they have whatever, and it's just not as good. I would rather see them do like 3-month cycles with the wrestlers where like every 3 months you cycle a couple people in so that way people get time off, right? And I know at this point, based on the excessiveness of injuries, based on online stuff, so don't come at me on this, but based on online stuff about this, the AEW wrestlers who only wrestle once a week get hurt more often than the WWE wrestlers that wrestle 3 times a week.
Right.
Because their bodies are more attuned to actually taking the bumps. So they don't get hurt as often. They get calloused, if you will. And back in the day when they were working 6-7 days a week, they got really calloused.
Yeah.
And that's why Ric Flair broke his neck in 1974 and was able to wrestle until 2006. You know, like it's just, when you think about it, it's crazy. But I think we're starting to see a little bit more of that, like cycling of people, but you're still seeing that, like, if someone's hot, you're keeping them at the top of the card.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't mess with the business. You know, the business still has to make money. And if LA Knight is your number one guy and you're making him the world champion, you're having him on every week. That's why Cody Rhodes is there every week. That's why LA Knight's there every week. That's, you know, even though Logan Paul's not, LA Knight is, right? Someone's got to sell that match at SummerSlam.
Do you think they're legit gonna make LA Knight like?
I think he'll win that belt.
U.S. champion, absolutely.
Oh, the U.S. champ. Okay.
I want him to hopefully one day they'll make him more. Right now, I'll be happy with the U.S. champ. Give him a belt.
The
They
good
cheated him out of the.
The good news is that they have 2 world champions for both men and women at this point. So you have 4 champions at a time.
Sure.
When they only had the one men's champion, it made it very and he was such a dominant champion that you had to know the guy that we're going to do this with is going to be special.
Sure.
And Cody is, right? Like and it's so crazy to think that Cody Rhodes is that special guy, considering Cody Rhodes couldn't even win the Money in the Bank match. You know, when like his best match at WrestleMania before he came back to the WWE was him versus the Big Show for the Intercontinental Championship. Like, what does that tell you? You know, like that's and when he came back, then he had Seth, then he had, did he have Seth again?
Mm-hmm.
And then he had Roman and Roman. So I mean, like 4 years in, he's like that's where he is. Oh no, he had Seth Roman because it's only been back 3 years.
What are we, 2.5? Are we 2.5?
What, 2.5 hours?
Yeah, what are we at?
We're at 2 hours 18 minutes.
Just about.
I mean, we're able to go until you're done. We've had a really good conversation, so I don't want to stop until you guys want to.
Special guest.
I did it.
You know what I mean? I'm not trying to take any credit.
Yeah,
you know
you guys try to make me sound racist.
No, we didn't. It was a valid
I
point.
did not.
I'm teasing.
No. I want you to take that back in front of the crowd,
I take that back in front of the crowd.
because I did not actually make myself sound that way.
You look a little bit like Hulk Hogan right now.
Who does?
Huh? I'm sorry.
I love that picture that says, "Look."
I just realized what you said.
I love that picture that I saw where it says, "Look who also was at the Republican National Convention," and it's a picture of Booker T looking at Hulk Hogan hugging Linda McMahon, and it's, you know, it's from years ago, but like she's giving him a hug, and Booker T's in the background like. And it just looks like he's still irritated about that whole thing.
Stupid.
Even though it was Booker T that said it, not.
That's the funniest YouTube.
That is as soon as
That
he
is
said it,
hilarious.
and Sherry's behind him like, it's okay.
Go you.
We'll get past this. We'll get past this moment.
As soon as it came on his phone, yeah.
Man.
On live TV.
So next week we have to give SummerSlam predictions.
Is it next week? Shit, it is.
Yeah. So next week we have to give SummerSlam.
All right. Where are we doing SummerSlam?
I mean, I'll probably be here
Yeah,
Saturday night. Yeah, be here.
that's what April.
We'll probably August.
It's one of those 8 months. So that's not this.
August
following,
3rd.
right?
August 3rd, Saturday. Yeah.
That's the day before Haley's birthday.
Good. So you can be here. The day after that, you can't be here.
Well,
Next year it's 2 days.
What is?
SummerSlam.
Oh, damn, it is, isn't it? They trying to copy WrestleMania.
Actually, so I love what they're doing. They're basically saying that if they ever decide they want to take WrestleMania international, like out, and they've had it in Canada a couple times, but if they ever wanted to go to like England or they wanted to go to Perth or they want to, like, they still want a 2-day show in the United States, and I love it for that. But yeah, I'm already, like I already told you guys,
WrestleMania next year.
it's at the end of April
How
in
much that
Vegas.
shit is.
Man, that's fucking nuts.
Expensive.
It is, but you know what?
It'll be worth it though.
It'll be worth it.
It'll be fucking worth it. I'm not
Fucking worth it. All right. Anything else?
Anything noteworthy? We went off. What's that say?
What's up, boys? Long time no. What's up, Chris? Chris, who's married to Sam. They used to be in Rockets all the time.
Oh, hey, Chris and Sam.
That's all. Anyways, yeah. All right. Tony, why don't you tell people how they can reach you? Because I know that you and I are talking about possibly doing a new YouTube show, right?
Big facts. So yeah, y'all can catch me on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all under Tologa to Death, TOLLGA2DEF.
That's on Twitch too, right?
That is on Twitch as well.
Yeah.
I'm on all that shit. So I'm on. You can catch me on Snapchat, SC Tino. I'm on Insta, SC Tino. X, fucking Twitter. I'm HoodieFan91. You can catch me on the TikTok, Tino Great Music. Did I miss anything? No,
Probably.
You can catch us, and you can catch us. We're on Facebook. We are Potsy and Tino Show on Twitter. We are Potsy and Tino. You can catch us here each and every week right here on the YouTube Pots and Pan Network.
How much does our theme song cost?
I've not gotten there yet.
I was just asking.
Yeah, things.
I just want to nutshot you after the show. So you can please make sure you like, subscribe, buy our shit. Thank you to Adam's House Cat for the wrestling song. You can buy it on iTunes for 99 cents. 99.
99, exactly. Yeah. You can follow me on
Everything.
Yeah, I'm on everything, but it's on Twitch at Rob Potsy Podjack, which is also my TikTok,
Get my fucking present.
my YouTube channel, which you can like. Are we doing the thumbs
I
up?
never want to do it. I tried it. You saw me trying it. Didn't do it.
It
Damn.
doesn't want to do it
It's
today.
new laptop.
I doubt it's the new laptop.
Because
It is a different
It
camera.
worked on your iPad.
I
And it
was
works.
noticing the camera's clean.
It works on your iPad and it works on my MacBooks. I think it's this shit.
No.
It's an
I
Apple
think it's
thing.
because we're both sitting together.
It's an Apple.
Because I don't think that.
It's an Apple thing. Try doing it in the camera. See what it does.
Well, I forget it. Anyways,
What was supposed to
When you
it's
do
but,
this,
like,
it gives you
like
thumbs.
it gives you
And
like a
when
little
do
thumbs
this,
up.
and it does hearts.
Yeah.
happen? Oh.
And you can even do like thumbs downs and whatever. Anyways, give us a like, give us a thumbs up for the YouTube channel tonight.
Buy our shit. I'm wearing a shirt.
Yeah, but
I'm wearing a fucked up shirt.
oh, you're wearing. Turn around. You're an advertisement.
Potsy and Tino show.
I told Nicole, she said, "Did you get your money back?" I don't think so.
No, we did not. Unfortunately, they said it was my fault, and it was not. Oh, you know what? I'm sitting there trying to click on that with the screen, and I can't do that on this one.
So quick question, guys. I don't know.
I didn't give all my stuff yet. So,
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
so Twitter, it's Potcheck.
Okay.
Everybody knows how to reach me. But
Yeah.
buy my new book on Amazon. Just search for my name, Rob Potcheck. Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, and I don't know if I should ask this off camera.
Are you going to knock down a tree with that axe?
No, not pronounced right. Ask. So look. So SummerSlam is what, next week?
Not this
Not
Saturday,
this
but the
Saturday.
Saturday.
What's up with like a live stream?
I tried to do that. He doesn't ever want to do that.
Like, what's up?
Like while we're watching the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've asked him about that before. You
What's going on?
Well, people just want to watch the show.
Huh?
Well, I see on TikTok people doing watch-alongs all the time.
Yeah.
They're doing it.
I don't know. If you guys want to load one up, I'll load one up.
No, while we're watching something.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. We'll have the camera going, and
You
we'll.
got like a live reaction.
I mean, someone's going to be sitting over there. Someone's going to be sitting over there. They're not even going to be on camera.
I'll be at the back of the bus. It's fine. But like a live reaction, I think would be like super funny. I think that'll be dope.
I mean, just make sure you knock on the bathroom door before
Yeah.
you walk in, even if nobody's.
We got to invite him to see if he'll come.
Yeah, well, if we say we're going to have that kind of show, he'll bring his dad, he'll bring him, he'll bring, whatever.
He's gonna bring his dad anyway. So.
Well, that's true. That's
And
true.
his dad's cool.
His dad is cool. Anyways, folks, like Tino, that's my tens machine. That's the one where you put the sensors on and it sends the electricity down. Anyways,
Your balls, don't you?
no, God, no.
I
No,
wash my hands.
no, I barely put it on my like the belly muscles, because like when you turn it up too much, like you feel it the next day. You're like, oh God, I got cramps, and it's like you don't have cramps. Your muscles just finally like
Oh shit.
work their shit. Anyways,
If you need somebody to do it, I got a girl.
Thank you guys for sticking
the
around.
one you were telling me about last time.
Shut up. You talk too much. Go ahead.
This show.
You started it.
Thank you for listening to watching the show.
Yeah, we're going.
See you next week. We're gonna do the outro with the
Motor City Machine Guns.
Motor City. Motor City.
Ready? Motor City Machine Guns and Potsy and Tino.
For the Potsy and Tino show.
Thanks for watching.